Marco.
All right, everyone.
Marco.
We're here. We have a discussion that we're going to have with a gentleman who reached out to me because he wanted me to bring him on the platform. So without any further ado or wasting any time, I don't want to poison the well, as they say. So I'm not going to say anything. Let's just bring him on and hopefully have a good discussion. I'm going to patch him in right now. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Test. Yeah, say give me like a test real quick.
Test.
Okay, let me make sure this is going to the right app. Okay, say something again.
Test.
There we go. That's much better. Okay.
Right.
Let me pull you up here on the screen so people can see you. Remove the chat.
Hey, we still have the chat in subscribers only mode. Is that
Refresh it.
something that you're gonna
I
change?
changed it to everyone. Should be able to see everyone.
Okay.
Everyone should be able to comment. And I see some usernames I don't recognize, so I actually don't think this is I don't think it is on subscribers only mode, to be honest.
Well, I'm looking at it, but it doesn't matter. If they can comment, then it's cool.
Yeah, okay.
Essence, what's good, baby? Queen Miami, what's good? Onyx, I know that name.
Okay,
Somebody in here said
this is
let me
Ray.
see.
You go by Ray, right?
Yeah, my name is
Okay.
Ray.
So little background, Ray, you commented on one of my videos about Amway, and you said,
hmm
"Bring me on this show." Hold on, I don't want to misquote you, so let me read exactly what you said. You said, where is it? Let me see. Hold up, I've got the screenshot here.
I think I said something along the lines of bring me on this show. I don't believe Amway is a scam. Something like that.
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah.
Here it is. Bring me on this show. I don't think Amway is a scheme. Great people and opportunities with the Amway Corporation. Take it away.
Absolutely. So I wanted to get on this show to talk about perspective. I watched a few of your videos and I was flabbergasted. I actually never really comment on, people who criticize industries. And I do respect what you do. I'm not trying to sit here and have, one of those disillusion debates where it's like, oh, this person is only saying negative things, but that's what stuck out the most to me. So
Okay.
it caused me to make that comment, and I actually wasn't expecting you to respond. So when you said that you wanted to do that, and I just want to address something before I do this.
Sure.
When you said that you wanted to do that, and we went into the email thread,
Yep.
I'm really big on reading between the lines. You're not talking to somebody that just started an Amway business and I tried it for a little bit. No, I actually have a very unique perspective of this business because I used to be a part of it. I stopped it. I walked away on my own with a successful distributorship. I took those principles into other areas of my life, and I'm going to explain all of these things, other businesses that I found success in. And then I had a big loss as far as starting a brick and mortar lounge in the Houston, Texas area.
Okay.
And now I'm restarting an Amway business. So I'm going to give you a perspective about the industry. I'm going to give you a perspective about Amway. And I'm also, you talked about iMarkets Live, turn the pandemic into a bandemic. That's actually pretty hilarious. I have some experience with that company too. And it's some very true things that you said about that company. So I hope that we can come to an understanding and not just, you trying to lump me into maybe some of the horror stories that you have heard about the Amway Global Corporation. Also, I want to say that inside of our email thread, the things that you caught me, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to repeat it just because, this is your channel.
The
But
things
when
that I
I
what that I
disagreed with you
caught
and
that
I
I
did,
called you. Did you say called
yeah.
you?
So when I told you that I didn't want to come on your channel and you said the things you said, it
Yep.
caused me to retaliate and say, hey bro, I don't deal with the defamation, like I'll sue you. And then you proceeded to say, hey, you're a trader and you do options and this, so I know you don't have money. I do have
We're
money.
we're gonna we're gonna
So,
go.
I just
I'm
want you
gonna
to
show
know.
the emails so that
Hold
you
on, wait a
can't put
minute.
words in my
I'll
mouth
let
and
you
I can't
talk.
put
I'll
words
let
in
you
your
talk.
mouth.
No, 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 no.
The name,
You
the
can.
only name that I
I'm not
called
putting
you,
words in your mouth,
the only descriptor that I gave to you was I
Marco.
called you a coward.
You call.
Uh, I called you a coward because you first commented on my video. It was the exact video was uh the interview with the Amway former Amway couple who was in for 13 years. Um,
Hmm.
and I know it looks on the screen. There's a bit of a delay, but uh, and you commented on that saying, "Bring me on this show." I replied to you and I said, "Okay, email me. Let's set it up." You sent me an email very promptly after. We set up a time. We discussed doing it on Discord. You added me on Discord. I asked you to send me photos of yourself that I can use for the thumbnail. You did so. I sent you a thumbnail back and
Hmm.
ideas for title. You didn't like the thumbnail. I changed the
Hmm.
thumbnail. I sent you more revisions. We went back and forth multiple times in several emails until
Hmm.
um the night before. For me, I'm in a different time zone, so for me it was the night before. I get an email from
Sure.
you with all of these fabricated reasons about my ill intentions about doing this conversation. Even though I was very respectful the whole time, and it was complete BS to me, as I told you in the emails. And now all of a sudden you didn't want to do it anymore. This is why I said you're a coward,
Well,
because
let me explain. Well,
you're
let
a
me
grown
explain
adult
why. Let me
talking
explain why.
in a
Because you just.
stranger's comments. And by the way, I don't accept the excuse of I didn't think you would see it. I love pulling people's card when they talk anonymously or when they think that I'm not going to see it, because you were the second guy in a row to challenge me publicly, commenting on videos publicly, that nobody forced you to do that. You did that of your own volition. And you're the second guy in a row. The first guy was Pedro, this Latino dude from World Financial Group, couple maybe a month ago now. You probably didn't see this, but yeah, he was so audacious and boastful and challenging me, telling me don't be scared, saying that I was a coward because I didn't want to do the live with him right then and there. It was like midnight in my time zone. So we set it up, same thing. I was very respectful. He sends me a photo. I tell him when we're gonna do it, blah blah blah. And of course, an hour before he pulls out talking about compliance. So I love it when I pull these people's cards and they have so much to say, and then when it's actually time to say it, you don't have anything to say. That's why I said you're a coward, and I stand by that. I do
Okay.
respect that you
I understand you. You you.
for this one today, but let's full disclosure to
Well,
the
no, I
people
pulled
watching,
up for
that
this
only
reason
happened
though. No,
because
no,
I
no.
said,
I
okay,
pulled up for
if you're
this
not going to
though.
show up, I'm going to do the stream
Okay.
anyways, going
All
over
right.
our emails. You threatened to sue me for a bunch of reasons that you also didn't have a leg to stand on, and now here we are today. So I do appreciate that you showed up, but I think it is quite telling of your character as a person that you had to feel somebody disrespected you for you to even be willing to back up the claim you
Marco.
made in the first place. Go
Sure,
ahead.
Marco. First of all, I'm glad that you let me talk because I was in the middle of a thought. Let's get something straight right here. If when you're talking, I won't interrupt you. I'll let you get a point across, and then I'll talk after. Matter of fact, I have a notepad and pen here because
That's
I
great.
suspected that you might do that. When I speak with my wife and I'm trying to make a point to her, I have to even let her know, hey, let's keep clear communication and not try to jump all over the place because then it won't be a debate. It won't be a real
Yep.
communication. It'll just be people, throwing shots. This is what happened in the email. And sometimes words can be read in a negative way. And I understand your passion and I respect that. But when I sent you those messages and I said, hey, man, respectfully, I don't want to do the interview anymore just because how you were going about doing the thumbnail and going about doing those things. That's the reason why. After we had the exchange that we had, I never called you out your name. I never called you anything. And you said more than just a coward. I was talking in the privacy of that email, and somehow, even though we didn't do this, I had people coming to my Instagram account telling me, "Oh, you're trying to dodge Marco," and I'm like, "Wow." So it put
Sort
me
of
in a
like you
place where
came
it's
to me
like,
in my
"Hold on, wait a minute,
comments.
wait a minute." Okay, I got you. So when I put those comments on your YouTube video, I wasn't calling you out. I was just stating some things, and I do have plenty of things to say, and this is all experience based. This is not research. This is not me saying, "Hey, this is what the FTC said." No, no, no. This is what I live. This is the years that I put in where I came from, and I feel like it can add value to anybody on this channel. I just want to let you know, as a man, you know, I don't do that. I don't call. I don't try to call people's income and try to say that they don't have money. I don't sit up here and try to call people cowards. To me, that's the weakest form of communication, and it takes a high level of emotional intelligence to be able to sit back and say, you know what, I'm going to let him do that, even though I'm infuriated and I do want to pursue in some type of legal manner. And I'm not. I came to this because it's almost like I was forced. It was like, hey, I can't make a decision. You know what? I will do this. But frankly, I do think mostly of it, of me just kind of wasting my time because I feel like I'll speak upon deaf ears, and I guess we'll figure that out. And I'm not trying to like cause any confusion. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through my story, and from there you can dissect it and do what you do. Is that fair?
Sure. So before you do tell your story, uh,
Okay.
can I respond?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, and just for the record, in case there was a bit of lag when we first started the call, so if it seemed like I was talking over you, that was not on purpose. If that was the
Yes,
case,
sir. Okay.
I agree. We should go back and forth. First of all, I want to say I think it is noteworthy that at this point now you're trying to take this sort of like moral high ground and saying I'm respectful, I don't get, talking about emotional intelligence, saying I don't call people out their names, this and that. First of all, Ray, let's just be objective and not quarrel with the facts. You, an anonymous stranger who I don't know from Adam, commented on my YouTube video demanding, not asking, that I bring you on this show so you can clear up my supposed misconceptions or misinformation about Amway. I obliged you. We went back and forth. When it comes to the thumbnail, you said that that was your main point of contention, was the thumbnail. You didn't like how I was going about it. I didn't create some clickbait thumbnail that was misrepresentative. I used the thumbnail using a photo that you sent me. When you told me you didn't like the first draft with the Amway logo across your chest, I said, no problem. I will change it and make revisions. I sent you multiple revisions, and you, in your own words, verbatim said, I really respect how you ask. So let's not try to be deceptive towards the audience
Look,
here
wait a minute.
and
I'm
make it
not.
seem like I
This is
was
something
doing
that I.
something
This is something that
sideways
I do,
before this
Marco.
took place. That's first of all. Second of all,
Sure.
threatening to sue me. Let's talk about emotional intelligence and emotional, like, you right now you appear to have this like air of stoicism about you, but that wasn't what was going on in the email. Third of all, you don't get to say, oh, I feel like I was forced into it now. I have every right to go through an email exchange of my own conversation with somebody who, once again, reached out to me. You knocked over the first domino that led us to where we are today. So
Marco,
don't
can
say
you
you
hear
feel
me?
forced into it. You're a grown adult. Nobody forced you to comment on my YouTube. Nobody
I don't
forced you
think
to
Marco can
email
hear
me,
me.
add me on Discord, go back and forth with me in emails, flop, then threaten to sue me, then double back and change your mind again. Let's just make sure that the table is set appropriately with the real facts, because I don't let people get on here and just lie. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, one, I'm not trying to make you look like a bad person. All I'm saying is those emails were private. And whatever decision or whatever I came to the decision to say, hey, I don't want to do this, and you say, hey, this is the thumbnail I'm going to use, and I'm going to do it anyway because this is BS or whatever you feel. When I said, hey, you don't have to use my picture. You can't use my picture. I don't want you to use my picture, and you still did it. But I see your comments right here saying that we haven't got to the debate. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start. Is that fine?
Well, let me just address the last thing you said right there. There is no assumption of privacy when it comes to the emails that, again, started because you publicly commented trying to get on the show and talk to me. Also, I didn't go and fish the internet for photos of you. You sent me the photos. If I
I
want to do,
understand, but if
I
if
don't
they're
need your
my
permission. Is
photos and
basically the short answer
I
of what I'm
own
trying to
those
say.
photos and I say that you cannot use them and you say I'm
Good
going to use
luck.
the photo I
Good
want.
luck. I look
Okay.
forward to hearing from your lawyers. Like I said to you in the email, bring it.
Sure. So this is what I'm saying, and this is where this debate. I'm glad that you're showing this,
We're gonna
because
go through
you
the
have
emails
this.
too.
No, sure, but you have this very thick obsession with wanting to be right. So I'm very interested to see how this goes
I don't
because
want to be
you're
right.
going
I
to be
am
trying to
right. What
tell
I
me
want is to
facts.
hold people accountable when they talk shit on
Okay,
my
well, you about to
YouTube
get some
comments and then try to
accountability
back out
today.
after
I'm gonna go
wasting my
ahead and
time.
start. I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Go
Because
ahead.
I'm here.
Go ahead. What
Obviously,
do I
people
get
don't
wrong about
show up.
Amway?
I see
What do I
why.
misunderstand about Amway?
Okay, so look, this is what happens. I'm a college student. I'm in college. I'm doing well in college, and I have somebody approach me about the Amway business. I start this Amway business. Now, before I even started the Amway business, I was a Twitch streamer. I was making anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a month playing these little wacky games. I don't know if you guys know about like Outlast and Call of Duty. I was into that. I wanted to just be a streamer. I was really focused on, man, can I do something that I enjoy and that can make me money? And I get introduced to this Amway business and I start going to meetings and I start not really being the average person in Amway that just sits and does nothing. I actually get into it. I start reading the books. I actually seen an episode where you were talking about like, oh, this is the book list that they recommend you and stuff. And I've read all of those books and I've read books outside of that. It actually increased my hunger for wanting to read. And I'm going through this system and I decide to leave college. I decide to stop streaming. I decide to make a complete 180 with my life because of principles, because of the things that I was seeing people do inside of this business. And most of the time that I spent in the business, the first few years that I did it, it wasn't about selling a product. It wasn't about going to a meeting and trying to get you one person or these personas that people try to put on about the network marketing industry. I had somebody that was driving 2+ hours to come meet me in a college town. That's 2+ hours one way from his family, from his friends, and he's coming to me and he's trying to speak into my life. He's like, "Hey, Ray, you're this young guy. You're 22, you're 23, you have a bad budget, you want these things, you have a lot of income or whatever you have, but you're spending it all. You have a problem with your eyes, you don't know how to look people in the face and talk. It's like a confidence thing, whatever it might be. But these are some things that I notice about you that you can work on so you can up your business presence, so you can up your skills, your real people skills." So I'm like, you know what? I've never had anybody tell me something like that. I grew up in a house where it was, hey, make sure the dishes are clean. And if make sure that this is done, what I tell you to do, you do it. If you talk back, hey man, it's the belt. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't do that. You get good grades. I was protected. I didn't have a chance to do things outside of the house because I didn't have a desire. I thought that standing out was bad. And these are real things that people deal with. So when you get to an adult and you're trying to produce money for yourself and you want to be a business owner, you have to learn how to be a business owner. So this man, invested all of this time into me and it was really never about products. He wanted me to win in the Amway vehicle, but he treated me more like a son. A few years from that, my business starts growing, you know? Am I a carbon copy of the person that was helping me? Absolutely not. But I was well read. I was proud of the person that I was, so I could stand in front of people with confidence and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I have. I've never lied to anybody about the Amway business. I've never told them, hey, this is what it is. All you have to do is just buy this and we can lie about the customers and you put people on your team. Like all the things that people try to say is bad about this business. I never experienced that. My business started to grow. We started to go out and get customers, and I started to build a distribution team. And I learned a lot about this business along the way. Here's something that I learned, and I want to contrast this for you. If Walmart goes and says, hey, I found this manufacturer, and they're selling this deal for $1, and we sell 1 million units. This is a successful product. We want to be able to take this inside of the marketplace more. I'm going to go back to this manufacturer and I'm going to say, hey, can you give me this product for $1.50? And we'll buy 2 million units instead of 1 million. The manufacturer, hey man, we make this for 50 cents. That's a sweet deal. Take it. Walmart gets that product, they put it in their stores and they benefit from it. The Amway Global Sales and Marketing Plan is designed in a way to where business owners don't have to worry about finding a product. They don't have to worry about shipping a product. They don't have to worry about market research. Amway says, hey, not only with the 1,000 patents that we have, we're going to create high quality products. I've seen people on your channel say that our products suck. I'm sorry. I can play you voicemails from customers saying, hey, I really like these products. I'm working on this. I'm excited about the next ones. It really is a people-based business and you get to direct sell to people and build a distributorship. And also I was on teams of people that wasn't doing much work in their line of sponsorship and I was making more money than them. I'm having success in the Amway Corporation. For my own reasons, I step away. I'm like, you know what? I'm going through a lot. I'm going to step away from this business. And remember, I just started the business back again, and I see what that line of sponsorship has turned into. I haven't been there, and it's still growing. It's successful, and it's nice and burly, and people are doing really great things inside of their companies. So I leave this company, And I only remember the principles. I'm not the typical person that quits something and says, "Oh, that's bad." It's like, no, I got, a really good self-image from this business. I spent a lot of time rubbing shoulders with people I would have never had a chance to meet. I'm talking about people that run their own successful hospital systems. I'm talking about people that own successful stores and other businesses that require talent, managerial skills, like things that people don't have and don't know how to do. I got to rub shoulders with them. If you think about what I was doing before I got into Amway, I was a video game player. What I've really had a chance to rub shoulders with people who have the financial competence that these people have? No. So I get out this business and I say, you know what? I need to find a way to disconnect my time from my money. I'm a server. I pick being a server. I can have a high level job, but I had this understanding of saying, hey, man, um, you know what? I don't want my job to follow me home. And if I go get this high level, high thinking job, it's going to have to follow me home. So I'm going to be a server. I'm going to be able to entertain people. I know how to talk to people. I know how to treat people. I'm going to make these tips and I'm going to find a way to disconnect my time from my money. And I have somebody come into that restaurant and they say, hey, man, you're a pretty solid dude. My wife was trying to give you a hard time. You gave us a great experience. I love your people skills. I own a tax office. Hey, come by. I'm going to teach you some stuff. Everybody in the restaurant tells me don't go. I go. That turns into a great relationship, and I'm able to build a very successful tax business. I take the money from this tax business. I get my first apartment. I haven't worked a job since I started that tax business. This is back in like 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. I pay all my bills up, and then I just start working. All right, Ray, you got your bills. Next tax season is coming up. What can you do outside of this to make money? I start a videography and photography company. Same principles that I learned in Amway. Tax business is working because of that. Videography and photography, same principles. Treating people right, knowing how to work a budget, knowing how to run a schedule, and being able to just scale your business. All of those things is taught inside of Amway, maybe outside of Amway, but I learned it in Amway. Found success in that. I look up, I'm in a one-bedroom apartment with $200,000 saved. Oh my God, this is great. I have options. I have a baby on the way. Let me go ahead and move to a two-bedroom apartment instead of this one-bedroom. I'm going to move to this two-bedroom. I'm going to move along. Inside of this transition, with me having the photography business and me having the tax office, I have a friend come up to me and say, "Hey, man, have you ever heard of iMarkets Live, iMastery Academy?" I'm like, "Oh man, look, I've already did network marketing, and that's a really successful company. I've done research. I know what type of network marketing companies these are, how the systems work. I'm looking at iMastery Academy. It's a uni level matrix. Amway is a stair step breakaway unlimited. Like that's not a good system. We've studied systems. That's not a good one. But for whatever reason, a couple weeks later, we're playing the game, and I'm hearing this dude talk about trading, and it just sparked my interest. So I said, you know what? I'm going to join this company, but I'm not going to join this company. Oh, okay. I see people talking about it in the comments. But I see, I joined this company. I'm like, I'm not interested in building this business. I'm interested in learning how to trade. And in iMarkets Live, though people talked about that business, their leadership was not the best. We had people that just wanted to throw, hey, I'm making this money. You need to quit your job. You need to come here and just trade, turn the pandemic into pandemic. They pulling up to places going crazy. I'm watching leaders like foster girls and taking girls back to them with hotel rooms because they're the guy. And I'm just watching all these things and I'm like, this is crazy. But I locked into the traders, and it's a few traders that I can give credit to that help me understand, like, oh, okay, prices, understanding support zones, understanding how to read my indicators. And I quickly started to gain traction. I look up in 6 months and I make about $40,000. And I think everybody else is doing this because they have the little scanners and stuff. Christopher Terry, though he's scrutinized, that guy is he's a real trader. He has real success. Most of the people that he personally coached were educators for his platform, and they actually had positive track records with their trading. And I know one personally where I went to their Skyrise and he showed his account and everything. I'm like, okay, all right, man, I can learn this. Well, the company does something very interesting to me because after you make money in something, and that's how I lead. I make money in it. I prove that it works for me. And it's like, you know what? I like to help people. I'm going to turn this into a business. That's just smart. I'm going to be able to offer it to other people. That's what I do on my channel. I trade well. I'm a great options trader. I'm damn good at it, actually. And I teach people how to do it. They don't have to believe me. They don't have to take my advice. Some of them don't. Some of them do. Some of them have success. Some of them don't. I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying, hey, this works for me. You can do it this way if you want. So I pretty much end up in this situation where the company reaches out to me and they say, hey, we noticed that you're posting YouTube videos. You can't do that. And you have to sign this paper saying that you can't make a YouTube video about trading. I said, wait, I thought this was a business. Matter of fact, all the people that are even in my organization, the only reason I started growing an organization is because the scanners are helping me and the education is helping me. Like, why would y'all do that to me? Like, can we talk about this first before I sign this paper? No response. So I'm like, okay. I send another email. No response. And then boom, business clipped. I said, oh, this is personal. Like, this wasn't a business. Like, they just kicked me out the company. I ain't never had that happen to me before. So I took it personal. I get on YouTube. You can go look at the video. Hey, YouTube, my name is RayyBannzz. It's your boy RayyBannzz, and I'm with a video. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've already made money, but I just want people on YouTube to know I don't want to be the know-it-all. So I say, hey, I'm gonna have a trading journey. I'm gonna take 500 to 50K. It took me 8 months to do that. I did it on YouTube, and I've done it multiple times. That's how I grew my community to where it is today. Well, in the midst of doing that, I realized like, okay, it took me two times to actually make good money on a trading account before I even had the confidence to try to like sell courses and stuff. Well, now I have courses being sold. I have successful trading account. I'm traveling around the world. I didn't hit 6 different countries, 22 different states. I didn't sat in people's living rooms and talk to them about their marriages. I didn't talk to them about these problems that are surrounding their life that's really hindering them from being a successful trader. And guess what? I learned how to do that in the Amway Global Corporation. I'm still thinking diversification, Ray. You got all this money sitting in your account. You need to go create something else that creates cash flow. So I decided to start a lounge in the Houston, Texas area. Very bad decision. This lounge took a lot of money from me, over a $250,000 investment. And that's not even including all the extra things I did for that business. And my leadership for that was not good. It was a tough lesson, a tough loss. I had other owners, that I believe kind of really added the fuel to the flame for that business to fail. And it took me a while to overcome it. And in the midst of doing this, I'm only trading. I'm not selling a course. I'm not really interacting with anybody. I'm just in a headspace like, wow, this is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. And it's failing because of other people. And usually when I fail, I can accept it because it's me. But now it's other people that are contributing things that don't align with system, don't align with duplication. And I lose all my money. I lose my investment. And I'm in my house. I'm like, hey, my life is great. My house is great. Car is great. Like, I have wife, I have kids, success. But man, I'm so depressed right now. I cannot believe that happened to me. And then I have a thought. Wait a minute, Ray. You learned all these things from Amway. Why not just go back and build the Amway business? Why not go back and have a safety, like a safety around you? Because those people that built that business have to live their life at a standard. A lot of people don't like Amway because it exposes who you really are. It's not about the functions that you go to. It's not about the products that you buy. It's about who you are as a person. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And I learned that there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start this back. In the midst of doing that, I'm not even 3 months in yet. You're not talking to a super big distributor, but you are talking to somebody that's competent. You are talking to somebody that can break down the sales and marketing plan. You are talking to somebody that takes other people's lives very seriously. Do I swindle people into buying products? No, I don't. Do I put people in positions where it's like, hey, we're not going to teach you how to get customers? No. I'm holding people accountable just like you are, Marco. I'm holding people like literally like, hey, man, you said you wanted to hit these goals. You have no business experience and you want to hit these goals. So I know that it's going to take time, energy, and effort for me to be able to help you. And I think that is no better place that people can go to get that type of training, than Amway. So that's my story. That's real life experience, and that's not even including all the overcoming, all the things that the upline when I was in Amway the first time that they did for me. That's not including all of the things that I learned and the avenues that I have to maneuver in the business world. That's not Amway, the traditional business route. And I think I'm doing pretty well for myself. So with my personal experience, I've never had a negative experience with Amway. It doesn't exist to me. Do I know about the horror stories? Sure. I do. I'm not just somebody that jumps into a business and I can't think. When I watch your channel, Marco, and I'm done with the story, and I know you can rebuttal after this. I know you probably have a ton of things to say. When I watch your channel, all I see is failure, 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 failure. And one thing I know about life is a balance. You cannot have light without darkness. You cannot have darkness without light. It's a balance. If somebody steals something from me, it's in my best interest not to try to steal it back. They just put their life out of balance. And in some shape, form, or fashion, it's going to balance itself out. And I'm going to find a blessing in me being unbalanced too because it was taken from me. So it is no such thing as only, oh, all of the negative things, but you talk to nobody with the success or with a perspective that had a great experience. So that's why I wanted to come on your show, not to bash you. I'm not trying to be like I'm stoic or anything, but I have a right to have feelings. I have a right to respond. I have a right just like you do. And that's why I feel like it's different for your channel. I don't think you've ever had anybody on here with that type of experience that can say, hey, I've made $1 million in a year, not revenue, 1 million. I know what that feels like. You know how many hats you have to wear for that? You know how many people and how many meetings and how much you got to grind to get that? Hey, what if I don't have to wear all them hats and I can just focus on what matters, which is creating the revenue and duplicating? What's really going to happen, is these people that want to make money, you're going to realize that if you want to make big money, you're going to have to duplicate yourself in something. And most people don't even have the right mindset to understand that it's duplication and mundaneness that makes you money versus you thinking you're going to be able to do these little silly dances on TikTok and stuff and sell products and make your money, man. So Amway is a great opportunity. Amway has accolades. They have high business credibility. It's a great company. I just don't see how so many people are so many that can come to your channel. So many people that can be like, oh, this is a terrible a company and they're a cult. If they're a cult, how did I leave the first time? If they're a cult, like if this is if it's a bad company, and all these other companies you see are failing, and they're getting sued and stuff like that, and they're trying to rebrand and getting sued again. Are you saying like your research is better than FTC, better than FBI? Like, oh, Amway is just surviving somehow? No, it's a real business with real people and real customers. It's not a scam. Now, is it people in there that might not be ethically right? Yes. Just like any other company. Is it things that happen with people in the business that affects Amway as a whole, and that's why Amway is getting sued? Probably. But guess what? That comes with the territory with any business. So I just don't understand how it can be such a negative view towards Amway.
Is it me? Is it me now?
Is it you?
Is it me
Yeah,
now?
yeah, go ahead, buddy. Yeah, you got it.
Let's all take a deep breath. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story. One thing that I like about these conversations I have with people who are in opposition to my view or who have a different perspective is I see some comments from time to time saying that I should have a timer so that people don't drone on and on. But I actually like it because I think if you allow somebody to speak, it tells you more than if there are constraints. Um, I'm glad that you have the pen and the notepad with you because I am keen to answer every single question or rebuttal you have. There was a few at the end there about do you think you have better information than the FTC, etc.? How is it a cult? You asked some actual questions that I can answer, but we should probably do them one by one. I will say there is I'm not going to dispute any of the personal story that you told. I wasn't there, so I'll just take you at your word for that. But there was so much that you said about Amway and about multi-level marketing overall that was just objectively nonsense. And that's another reason why I just would prefer to
Well,
let
can I
you
ask
talk.
why it's nonsense? Why is it nonsense?
So, first of all, you talking about business owners is nonsense. People in MLM are not business owners. You talking about essentially Amway being a social club for you the first time, more so than actually being something that helped you to make money. And you talked about learning
It,
systems
it
and
did
learn.
help me make money though.
Okay.
What do you mean? I said that I left a successful distributorship.
Okay. Well,
You know,
that's another
and Amway is a
it's
business.
another oxymoron because if you were so successful, like I don't remember which business this was in reference to because there was so much information dumped on me there, um, that you had $200,000 in the apartment or whatever. I mean, it boggles the mind to think that you could have $200,000 and then say, okay, this thing that made me $200,000, I'm gonna stop and go do something else now,
Amway didn't
or
make me two
I,
hundred
I
thousand
didn't say
dollars.
it was
Let me ask
Amway.
something really quick
Hold on.
because
You don't want to interrupt me. I didn't
that's
interrupt you. I
confusing.
literally muted my
Sure,
mic and
but
let you
you're
talk
getting.
for
I'm
like
just
12
correcting you
minutes.
because you're
I
wrong.
didn't say it was
I didn't
Amway.
say that I
I
made
didn't
two
say
hundred
it was
thousand dollars
Amway.
from Amway.
Ray, you're not listening. I literally said I
Okay.
don't remember which business this was in reference to because there was so
Okay.
much information dumped on me when you talked about the 200K in the apartment. But whatever it is that
Okay.
you were doing to make you 200K in the apartment, why would you stop doing that thing? I didn't say Amway. You need to listen to hear and not just listen to
Sure.
respond.
Well, you don't
Okay.
have to insult my intelligence or tell me what to do. You know, I'm just as
How did I
knowledgeable
insult
as
your
you. This is real
intelligence?
life
Okay.
experience. No,
How did
you
I?
just, I'm telling you,
I don't
man,
want to
I
insult
talk
your
to a lot of people.
intelligence. So let me,
I
tell me
talk
what
to
I
a lot
did,
of
and I'll
people, and I can
apologize.
just tell by the demeanor. I understand that you have comments over here
I'm not even looking
that
at the
are
chat.
looking as
Where are you seeing the
okay,
chat? I'm
sure,
not
but
even
well,
looking at it. I'm
I'm
looking at
looking at the
you.
chat. I'm looking at the
I'm
chat
looking at you. I haven't even.
because you.
You have my
Okay,
full
sure,
attention.
and
You have my full attention.
sure. Okay, got you. So look, let me explain something to you. I want to know what you know because I know that you
Yeah.
have all this research and you have people that have
Mm-hmm.
come to your channel. But what is Amway? What is Amway?
Okay. So my first question before I let you speak was, what did I get wrong about Amway? And you brought up a few points of contention. The
Hmm.
research saying how is it a cult? Uh, there was a few things, but anyways, I was just pointing out one of the inconsistencies to me. Again, I'm not questioning your story. I'll take you at your word. I wasn't there. But to me, it seems an
Okay.
inconsistency that you would have a business that's making you money and then you would leave that business to join a multi-level marketing company or vice versa. That you mentioned you had a successful distributorship with Amway. If it was successful, you wouldn't have left it. That's just what common sense tells me. So perhaps you
No,
have
that's not common sense
okay, well
though.
perhaps you have valid reasons for that, but I think it's besides the point. I want you to tell me what your initial comment about on my channel about how I'm wrong about Amway. I want you to ask me what you questions you have about Amway, how I'm wrong about Amway. I believe the question you just asked, I did answer thoroughly in email, in a long form email, in the body of the text of the email. But go ahead. I want you to take a moment. I'm not pressed for time. This is live. We can take as long as we want. Write down.
Okay.
Write this down. Tell me what any question you have. You said how is Amway a cult? Okay, I can answer that. You said what is Amway?
Sure.
Okay, I
Well,
can
just
definitely.
start there. You don't have to read it. Start there. How is Amway a cult?
Amway is a cult because it's a belief system more than it is a business. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's a business at all.
So other companies don't have belief systems?
What you're doing is a technique called a whataboutism. Other companies could have belief systems. That doesn't change the fact that of what Amway is. So you want to talk about Amway? We'll talk about Amway. I'm not going to fall for these little deflection games.
I'm not deflecting.
That is a
I'm asking
deflection. I
you.
just pointed out
Amway
to
is a
you.
business. You know what I realize is the same techniques that other companies use to grow their company, saying, "Hey, we're going to make sure that our employees are speaking right, dressing right, doing right, and that's going to help us as a whole create revenue so we can pay out these checks."
Yes.
Amway, we're going to make sure people are doing the same thing. What do you
Okay.
mean?
So you're talking
Okay,
more
well, let
about
me
like
ask you this:
company
high level
policies
execs,
or
because y'all say it's a. I'm gonna get to the quote. When people go to functions and people say, "Oh, they just go to functions and they talk about these things and they do the hoorah and they do all these things," that's the same thing that these huge companies do. They send their employees to functions to get training so they can create more revenue.
okay.
Now you can say, "Oh, like I seen somebody in the comments say, oh, 1099 contract is not a business." Okay, you can put that on the Schedule C. Schedule C is a business document. So you say I don't know nothing about taxes, some education for your ass. All right. What I'm trying to say is Amway, you can sit up here and try to say it's a belief system like people don't have brains. You had somebody come on your channel and say that they were in Amway for 13 years and they got nothing out of it. They only noticed that they were in a court, that they were being this. So you're telling me for 13 years you were a pushover? That's not happening, bro. That's not happening. You know, you have people that have bad experiences in Amway because they don't do anything. They'll come into the company, they'll sit around, they won't buy a product, they won't tell you, hey man, I had somebody meeting up with me and they were trying to get me to understand how to get my customers. Like, you know, they don't tell you none of that. They don't tell you, hey, they sit up with me for hours and they try to help me overcome these insecurities that I have because I'm actually terrified of talking to people, talking about a product. I don't even know why I got in this business. You know, I just want to make some money. I want it to be like, okay, I could talk to my friends, put them in real quick. Maybe they could talk to people and then they figure out, oh,
Okay.
even if I have people on my team and I don't produce any type of revenue, I can't I can't tap into the potential of the marketing plan.
Okay, let me address that.
Is it the industry? I'm
Yes.
confused.
Yes, let me address that. First of all, again, I stand
Okay.
by what I said before, which is that if you let people talk long enough, they'll show you who you are. And it's such a telling statement about your character and how vindictive and vile an outlook you truly have is that you would take such a victim blaming statement about two people who lost 13 years of their life to a destructive cult movement. Let me explain to you why that's nonsense and why
Lost
you can't
13
simply
years.
say, you don't want to interrupt, right? You don't want me to interrupt you?
Yes, sir. No, I'm just reiterating. I'm sorry, I'm speaking out loud. I'll hold that back. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me explain to you, Ray, why it doesn't matter whether you sat on your ass and did nothing or whether you fully committed to the Amway system when it comes to your outcome. Multi-level marketing, you touched on this a bit earlier, the different structures, the uni-level matrix and the breakaway infinite plan. Every multi-level marketing system is dependent on an endless chain. It's a mathematically impossible numbers trick. This is usually a blind spot in people's common sense. You've probably heard the trope of, would you rather have $1 million right now or a penny doubled every day for 30 days? Have you heard that before?
Hmm.
Okay, and you know the answer is?
I think it's like 5 million or something. 30 million somewhere in there. It's a huge number.
Okay, so it's the penny, right? The penny is the more ends up with more money. The penny after 30 days.
Sure.
Right. So
Absolutely.
after, day 1 you have 1 penny, day 2 you have 2 pennies, day 3 you have 4, day 4 you have 8. By the 30th day, you have over $5 million, more than the $1 million. It seems a lot of people get tricked by this because they can't imagine that by day 4, when you still have less than a dollar, less than 10 cents even, that by day 30 you'll have $5 million. It's, as I said, it's a blind spot. People, I feel like human brains didn't evolve to fathom such large numbers. Like, we can't picture in our head what a million people looks like when we think of like a crowd of people. There's never been a photo of a million people before. No, we can't even fathom how big it is. Same thing with money. If I told you that I had $100 million or $1 billion, to most people, it's essentially the same thing. It's an incalculable, unimaginable amount of money. The reason I bring this up is because you can apply the same thinking and the same principle to any MLM compensation plan. Recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people. If you did this, and if we generously assumed that everyone who joined stayed and everyone was successful in recruiting 5 and nobody left, you would run out of people to recruit on Earth by the 13th cycle, including people who were ineligible for it, people under 18, elderly people, disabled, people who don't speak the language that you speak, people in parts of the world with no electricity, running water, etc. So with a company like Amway, which has been around for many, many decades, you have to imagine there are tens of thousands of people in that company today. The churn rate of that company is more than 50%, meaning more than half of the people who are in it in year 1 will not be in it in year 2. They've been around for many decades. There have probably been, as a matter of fact, I would assert that there have been millions of people in Amway. That doesn't even include the tens of millions, if not billion plus people who have been prospected by Amway. It's not hard to imagine that every household in North America has been touched by the Amway recruiting efforts of its millions of distributors over the decades. So when you join a multi-level marketing company today, if you were to join today in 2025, what layer of the pyramid do you think you're starting on? And how big is your pool of prospects to recruit when you consider that there are millions of people who were already in it and left, who aren't interested, who already have another job, who know that it's a scam and they don't want to do it, etc., etc. This is just pointing out how the supposed business model is fraudulent in its very nature. When you ask about, okay, so now we've established that it's fraudulent with simple math. Now you ask me, how is it a cult?
You've established that it's fraudulent.
Okay,
Can I
I've
rebuttal to
established
that
that. You
before
don't
you
have
move
to
on?
agree. That's fine. You can disagree with math. That's fine. That's for you to
No, no, no.
quarrel with.
Can I rebuttal to what you just said?
Well, let me. That's the first.
According
That's
to
the
your
first part
logic,
to me
I
explaining
know,
why
but
it's
if
a
you
cult. When you understand that it's fraudulent at its base, at its core, and then you still see people having this devotion to it, this fanatical devotion to it. If you dig a little deeper and you see the tactics that they use to recruit people, the survivorship bias, which you've already employed multiple times during this conversation and in our email exchange, where you only point out the people who have been successful. In your email, you said something to me like, for every horror story that you have on your channel, I can show you somebody who's successful. And I responded to you and I said, that's like saying, for every drug addict, I can show you a successful drug dealer. Obviously, there are way more people whose lives have been destroyed by drugs than there are successful drug dealers. This is a great example of the logical fallacy called the survivorship bias. You are using that. Amway uses that. They won't talk about the people who have been destroyed by this, who have been so brainwashed by the lies and logical fallacies and cherry-picked inflated data. Like, I have it open on my computer here, the average earnings disclosure for Amway for 2023. Did you know that the average earnings for all United States IBOs at the founder's platinum level and below was $841 before expenses for the entire year? I could go into
absolutely,
explaining how
that's
that
public
number is super
information.
inflated too, if you would like, but avoiding that for now. All of these things, this apparatus of lies, every term is a lie, every statement is a lie, every piece of data is a fabricated lie. What is brainwashing if not telling people a bunch of sweet sounding lies in order to get their devotion and extract their money and effort from them and get them to isolate by cutting off every person in their life who doesn't support their Amway dreams, thinking that they're a
I can
hater and a
answer
dream
that. It's
stealer
called,
and
I can
stinking
answer that.
thinking?
It's called
That's why it's a
always
cult.
Marco.
That's why it's a cult.
You have all of the numbers, but no experience.
Okay,
That's what you have.
that's another
No, no, no. Hold on,
logical
wait. I'll let
fallacy
you
that you
talk. So
used in your
let me
emails
build it.
called
Let
appeal
me
to
build it.
experience or appeal to ignorance, where you
No,
suggest
no,
that
no,
just
no.
because I
Because you're
don't have
sitting
the
up here, you're
experience,
trying
I
to
can't
say
speak
what you
on it.
just said is
And
that
I responded to
the
you.
math.
Hold on, I'm going to mute you because you
Okay.
want to talk over me. You're muted. Nobody can hear you. Since you want to talk over me. I was respectful to you, and you don't want to share the same respect to me, despite the fact that you were the one who demanded I bring you on this show. So now you're going to listen to me. And if you have something that you want to say, and I breeze past it, write it down, and I will address all of it. We're here live. 300 people are watching. I'm not going to be on camera avoiding questions. So if you have any question, I'm happy to answer it. I don't have to be evasive or slippery. I'm not scared of the truth. You only have to be scared of the truth if what you're doing is lying. So I told you in the emails that saying that I don't have the experience, so that my opinion must be less valid than yours because you have experience, is nonsense. I don't need to be a doctor to know that smoking is bad for you. Are there people who smoked cigarettes and lived a long life? Yes, that's true, but the exception doesn't disprove the rule. Once again, survivorship bias. Every logical fallacy or riddle that you throw at me, I debunk it, and then you galvanize it with another logical fallacy or riddle. I'm trying to point this out to you. And if that doesn't work, you'll go ahead and say it's just my opinion, or you'll do what you did in the email and threaten to sue me, or you'll say I'm just a hater. I mean, again, I'm not fearful of your questions. Ask me anything you want. I think I've just answered pretty eloquently why it's a cult and why it's not a business. So any other questions you have for me, go ahead.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, sir. You are. You are.
All right. I appreciate the discipline. I can't believe that you did that.
I can't
Um,
believe that you talked over me after so respectfully
well, I
insisting
mean,
that we don't talk
no,
over each
I
other.
let you talk. I had a point. I
Write
just
it
wanted
down
to
and bring
say
it
it. I
back.
see.
You
No, no,
talked
no.
for
I got
12
you. I got
minutes.
you. I have it right here. I have it right here. So, Marco, this is what you're doing. You're doing the exact same thing. This is something that I said in the email. You're doing the exact same thing. Like you're saying, "Oh, this is what you're doing." You're over here just saying that you're lying to people. You're lying to people. This is an inflated number. According to your math, that means that Amway would have already imploded.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Amway would
Okay,
have already it would have already
okay,
failed. So
let's
how
explore
does
that
that
one
make
because
sense?
I can answer that one too. This is a very common
Sure.
one that people in MLMs often use. They say, if the math is impossible, that you would have ran out of people to recruit by the 13th cycle, how come it hasn't happened yet?
Recruit.
Is that correct? Are we on the same page?
No, that's not correct.
Okay,
What
go
I'm
ahead.
trying to get you to
Explain
understand.
your
And
question.
then, by the way, you're grouping all of network marketing
Yes, I
into
am.
one.
Yes, I am, because they all spawn from Amway. I
Amway
don't know if
doesn't
you've
get
read the
paid
book
off
Ponzinomics,
recruitment.
but every MLM was founded by some offshoot of Amway. All of the major MLM CEOs started in Amway.
And the FTC uses Amway as the template, right?
Amway is legal and
What do they
multi-level
know that
marketing
you
is
don't know,
legal by
Marco?
default because of a 1979 Amway case where an administrative law judge
That
named
we
Judge
won.
Timoney said
That
that
we won.
there is
Amway
such,
won it.
pardon me?
Amway won that case. That case is not valid. That case
It's
doesn't
not
count.
valid.
Like
No,
that
it's
they didn't
wrong.
know what
It's
was going
wrong.
on.
It's wrong. And I don't think it's crazy for me to
So you
suggest that
believe it's
a law
wrong.
passed in
So you believe it's
1979 was
wrong.
incorrect. Do you think we had everything figured out by 1979?
Were you there in 1979? You
Imagine
wasn't
I
there in my
said to you,
personal
imagine I
experience.
said to you, well, the government decided that black people shouldn't have the right to vote. So did they get it wrong? That's what you're suggesting right now. It's the same nonsense, appeal to authority fallacy, where
Hey,
you're saying that because
hey,
the government
and we still
decided, it
figuring
must
that
be
out.
true.
And we still figuring that out.
Exactly.
At
And
the
we're
end of
still
the day,
figuring it out
Marco,
with
this is what's
multi-level
going to
marketing.
happen. This is what's going to happen, Marco.
Don't
Because I
deflect.
know
Go
that you're
back.
so
Stay on the point.
passionate.
Stay on the
No, no,
point.
no. I'm not
Stay on the
deflecting.
point.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen. You say that Amway is lying to people and they're just putting people in the
No,
system
go
and
back
people
to
are
the
just
point. Don't
profitable
deflect to a new
and
point.
people are only
Go
at the
back to the
top. Can I
point.
get to the point? You sitting up here going everywhere. You trying to throw black people. You trying to do all this.
I didn't say anything
Look,
about black people. I didn't
this is
mention
what
black
I
people one
see.
time.
I see somebody, usually people who condemn and critic, like you condemn. That's what you like to do. You know that you're right. You say that you're right. You believe that you're right. And even my experience, court cases, anything that goes towards the proof that this business is a functionable business and can work for people who work it,
Nonsense.
it doesn't count to you. But this is what I see. I
Nonsense.
see your channel. I see your channel saying, oh, all of this is a niche. You don't want to talk about the truth of what Amway does in the lives that it has changed for people who have used it effectively. It's a plan just like anything else. So people come to your channel for justification and you just sell them merch and sell them subscribers and all of this stuff. And it's okay. That's the game. I can respect the hustle. But we're not going to sit up here and say that a company, where is it at? 75, 77, 72, I don't know, in Forbes, successful, number one direct selling. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be new platinums, it wouldn't be new people that are hitting new pins, companies still growing, still strong, still winning. But then you, Marco, know everything.
If
That
you
makes no sense to me. I think this is just for your personal gain, to
There's
be
an
honest.
open offer I will delete my entire channel if there is anybody who can come rebut the numbers. They will call me a hater, but they will never call me a liar. They will call me a grifter. They will call me a scammer. They will say I'm self-serving. They will say I'm doing it for my own ego, but they will never call me a liar. You see this with so many different kinds of things when activists are trying to make a difference in the world. When you support Palestine or you're against the government of Israel, they call you an anti-Semite. They'll call you a racist if you're against a certain person that happens to be a person of color. It's such a weak and tired tactic because I told you before in the emails that I'll even demonetize the stream. Since you think I'm just doing it for money, let's have an honest, good faith conversation. You insisted that I bring you on my channel. I said, okay,
So
you decide the
this
title,
this is
you
the
decide
fact
the
then,
thumbnail,
Marco.
I'll demonetize it. And guess what? I've heard it all before. If I didn't make any money, you know what they would say? You know what people from MLM would say? They say, you're not even making money off this. Why don't you go try to get some money? You're just a hater. You're just doing this for views. So if it wasn't about money, it would be for views. And if I didn't get any views, they would say you're doing this for nothing. So it doesn't matter what I do or don't do. You guys will, when I zig, you zag. So I want you to go back to the thing that I said before.
Okay. Sure.
Because you keep jumping from one topic to another. I will delete my whole channel if you can rebut any one of the points that I make with real facts.
The
So
real
go
fact
ahead,
is
right?
this.
What are your
Now
questions? Do you
this is
have
the
them
real
written down?
fact
Go ahead.
because you want to use. I didn't come prepared with numbers. I know about certain things about the cases for Amway.
Uh-huh.
I know about like horror stories. I know people that done some pretty bad things inside of Amway, and we don't condone that. And it's not like you're over here talking about recruitment. Amway doesn't even get paid on recruitment.
Nonsense.
It's
Another lie.
n-
Do you want me to explain?
no, Amway does
Okay.
not get paid
That's a
on
lie.
recruitment. It
That's a
doesn't
lie.
even cost
That's
to
a lie.
start your business, Marco.
No, it's a lie. I'll explain it if you want me to. If you don't want me to, that's fine. Go on.
I mean, you can explain it to your subscribers. This is what I'm looking at. Tell all of this
Yep.
to the person, all of these facts on why this is a bad business.
It's
Tell
not a
that
business
to
at
the
all.
people
It's a money transfer scheme.
Okay, sure.
It's a pyramid
not a
scheme.
business at all. Maybe you could, for whatever your definition is, tell that to the people that I sit in front of and that
Yep.
I help. The
Again,
people that
again,
I
this is
drive to and I help.
Okay,
The
who do you
lives that
have? Who do
I
you have
know,
that's made money
people.
off of Amway?
What'd you say?
You have people that have made money off of Amway?
I know people and have people. I just helped somebody make a sale today, dude,
Okay, and how much
on
did
the
they make?
phone.
How
What do
much
you
did they make?
mean?
How much did they make?
Off the one sale, I mean, I'm not going. If I try to spoon feed you this, man, it's like what, like trying to
Give me
spoon feed
a
you with a
number.
fire
Give me
hose. Why do
something
I have to?
tactile. Give
Why
me
do I have to
some real piece
disclose
of
my
data.
business
You're
to
just
somebody
giving me
that doesn't even
anecdotal
believe in it?
babble. Give me a real piece of data. How much did
This
they
is
make?
not babble.
Okay.
This is not babble. What you're trying to do is you're trying to say, hey, because you're doing Amway, you're a bad person, right?
No, I
You're
didn't
a
say
bad
that.
person.
Nope, I didn't
No, no,
say
no.
that.
Your group. You're saying Amway is evil. I've even watched you on stream
Yep.
saying, "Hey, the only thing I can call this is pure evil.
It is
Anybody that
evil,
does
but
this,
I don't
that
think
looks
the
somebody
people
in
that
the
are in
face,
it are
is
necessarily
pure
evil. I
evil."
think
When
most
you
of
want to
them were
know what pure,
brainwashed
I'm
into
gonna show you
thinking it
what
was a
pure
good
evil is. This
opportunity.
is what pure evil. I'm gonna let you talk because I don't want to get muted. What did you say?
I don't think most people in Amway are evil. I think the people who conduct the scheme, the people at the top levels who understand the true numbers around how many people lose money, the churn rates, the average income, etc., I think those people are evil because they absolutely know what they're doing. For the majority of people who lose money, like the couple that the video you commented on, the couple that was in for 13 years, I don't think they're evil people. Perhaps they were doing something wrong, but that was because they were misled so thoroughly, because they were so deceived through cherry-picked statistics and survivorship bias stories about how successful certain people have done. Amway and multi-level marketing overall have done an excellent job at maintaining a monopoly on information, which has only been started to break in the last few years with anti-MLM creators. It makes it seem like if you go and Google testimonies for these companies like Amway, it will appear through Google that the majority of people have nothing bad to say. This is because they're so meticulous and so litigious when it comes to swatting down any people who expose these companies. I've been sued 3 different times. Now, that's something interesting to me, because if you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't have to sue over it. You shouldn't have to sue if everything that the person said was if what the person said was false, it should be able to be debunked on its own without having to sue them. Just because you what's the saying? When you cut out a man's tongue, you're not proving him a liar, you're just proving that you fear what he has to say. So these
Hmm.
companies have been so litigious in maintaining their monopoly on information by harassing or suing or making people fearful to speak out, that it appears the majority of people do well, and the horror stories, as you call them, like on my channel, are the exception. They're a small niche of bitter people who are just making some YouTuber rich. Well, actually, it's the opposite. The opposite is true. As with every statement in MLM, the opposite is true. That the horror stories are actually the verifiable, true, and the numbers that Amway themselves report back this up. The horror stories are the majority of the people, the vast majority. And actually, the cherry-picked, disingenuous exceptions are the ones who made a lot of money. That's just a fact. So, a older, wiser man once taught me, never quarrel with facts. So that's why I'm not getting into perspective, and you want to throw all of these,
Well,
personal things about how it's like a grift for me, essentially.
no,
But you
because
haven't
the reason
pointed
why
out one
I'm bringing
fact.
the reason why I bring that up is because I mean, you have this. It's like being a window shopper. It's like, oh, I have all the facts, I have all these people that I've been talking to, all these books that I've read, and it's not true, dude. Like, if you were really a
Okay.
part of this system and you heard the audios, you would see that they talk about some of the things that you're talking about right now.
Okay.
We mentioned that we understand this business.
Okay.
We understand the responsibility that we have towards people. And it's a lot of statistics that they don't follow. You say that, oh, it ruined a lot of people's lives. No, that's like saying, all right, man, all of these people that go to the casino and these horror stories of people losing their life saves, man, the casinos are bad. It's an evil place.
Can I can
No.
I can I
And
address that,
I'm
because that's
telling you
actually
right
that's
now,
actually a good that's actually a
just from
good
my
response.
perspective.
That's actually a good response. Can I address that? So you mentioned casinos, which I actually think is a very fair thing to wrestle with in your mind when it comes to comparing to multi-level marketing. In the 2011 Consumer Awareness Institute report by John Taylor called "The Case for and Against Multi-Level Marketing," which is available on
We
the
know all the
FTC's
cases.
website, it talks about how 99.6% of people in MLMs lose money, and you actually have a better chance of making a profit by gambling in Vegas. Now, the odds of success when it comes to gambling are also pretty abysmal. I think we would both agree, you know, the saying the house always wins. The reason that I think casinos are not a scam and that MLM is a scam is because of one thing that sets them apart. And that is making an informed, consented choice. If somebody goes to the casino, they're never guaranteed money. I think we would agree that common sense tells most people that if you go to the casino, you might win money. And if somebody goes to the casino and win money, they say, oh, I got lucky. So they know that it's a matter of luck.
Okay.
They don't think that it's a guarantee. With MLM, this is not the case. With MLM, you are told that if you work hard, if you follow the plan, if you just recruit 5 people, then you will be successful. This is what makes one of those a scam and the other not, because one does not give you a consented choice. This is something that I explained to you in the email thread as well. And I have an analogy
Amway
for
is
this.
forcing people to do business, and people are not making their own choices, and we're swindling people.
That's right, because it's deceptive. The
That's what
plan
you're
is
saying that we're
deceptive.
doing. See, and that's coming from somebody that you've never seen the
Okay.
meetings. We
Again,
meet with
appeal to
people multiple
experience fallacy.
times.
Appeal to
We give
ignorance
people
fallacy.
all the facts.
Okay.
Like, this is not hidden. Before anything that we give them, Marco, it has income disclosures. It tells them where they can go to look at this. This says, hey, this is what we have for products. This is what we sell. This is what we look for. This is the traits that we see in people that build successful businesses. We're not telling people, oh, this is the best thing ever.
That's a
You're
lie.
gonna be rich. No. See,
a lie.
but how can you say that and you've never built it?
Because
You've never been
I've
there.
probably attended more.
I'm not walking around trying to be
I'll tell
Inspector
you why.
Gadget with secret pens, trying to figure out like these secret meetings and stuff. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so hold
I'm
on.
in the
So you-
trenches, bro. I'm talking to people.
So you yourself just
I'm out here.
acknowledged. Just acknowledged my experience going around with the secret pens.
That's not
Yes,
experience.
I have probably attended
That's not
more,
experience.
I have probably attended more multi-level marketing pitch opportunities, Zoom calls, meetings, either with my hidden camera or through Zoom anonymously than probably anybody else. I would
And
go
I've
ahead
talked to more people and helped more people be successful in the network marketing system than you. You just want to
Okay, once
scrutinize
again,
it
the
because you
reason I'm
just
only
see the
bringing
numbers.
this up now is because
Everything
I'm not
is a
relying
number
on an
to you,
appeal
Marco,
to
and that's not
experience,
true.
Fallacy. Again, never quarrel with facts. I just talk about the facts.
It's a fact for you.
I haven't inserted my
Never
personal
quarrel with
experience.
beliefs. Your belief is so deep to be right.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's a belief for you.
First of all, I only
There's
believe
plenty of
what I
people
know.
that are
I
winning
don't
inside of
believe
this
anything.
company and get.
You know what I believe?
Well, this is
I believe
what I
2
know.
+ 2 is 4. I believe it because I can demonstrate it. I believe that
believe 1 +
multi-level
1 is
marketing is a
11.
scam because I can demonstrate it.
That
It's not a
doesn't
matter
matter.
of faith. It's not a matter of blind belief. I believe what I can prove. You believe what you believe.
Hey, no, I believe what I lived. That's the difference. You're looking from the outside trying to say that this is bad. And you know, I see some of my people in here being respectful and trying to talk to people, and all I see is bad things coming at me. This is the nature of what you're building. See, this is what you build up by tearing down.
You're
That's what you
scapegoating
do.
right
You
now
say,
by
hey,
bringing
you have
up
this
people in the
no,
chat.
this
I'm
is
talking
this
to
is
you.
what
I'm not
you're
even
doing.
looking at the chat, bro. Don't use the outside chat
No,
as like some.
I'm not using. Okay,
Don't cherry pick
so
the
I
chat
can't read the
to
chat. You
confirm
want me to
your
look at the chat?
bias.
I won't question
Just
the
talk
chat
to me.
anymore.
I'm
Whatever.
talking to you.
What I'm saying is this: it's the nature of everything. The same way we have an environment, you have an environment. You have built success off trying to tear down. It is not in your best interest to try to find truth, to really say real life stories. I mean, this is like saying, "Hey, I want to be a great basketball player. I'm going to go talk to all the people who failed at it." That doesn't make sense, Marco.
Okay, so let me
That's
ask
what
you
you're
a
doing. You're
question,
choosing
Ray.
to tear an industry down.
Okay, let me ask
and
you
off
a
of that,
question.
you've
Let me
built a
ask you a
community.
question.
I choose to build people up.
Let me ask you a question.
What's bad about that? Sure, go ahead, man.
Well, because I think I believe that you believe you're building people up, and I'm trying to inform you that what you're actually doing is leading sheep to the slaughter when you recruit them into Amway. And I explained that because of the mathematically impossible endless chain. And Amway's own numbers don't dispute that. Amway's own numbers show that most people lose money. So again, it's not my bias, it's not my experience, it's not my opinion, it's not my belief. It's just the facts. Never quarrel with facts, as I've said multiple times.
You know, 20% of the people do 80% of the work. You know that.
That's called the
And you know
Pareto
that people
principle.
you
Yes.
and what okay, got you. And you also know that people, I'm pretty sure you've experienced people that have told you, "Hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this," and they don't. And you also probably experience, hey man, people that can't keep their word, can't be consistent. Like,
Like
it's
you.
so many things that are wrong with people. This is what I can tell you. Let's say somebody got in Amway and they never ever made money ever.
Yeah,
but they
there's plenty
only
of
went to
those.
the conferences. Sure, okay, sure. So and they only went to the conferences and learned what people are teaching at those conferences. I believe that more people go into their life and have a higher opportunity to be successful versus not being successful, because Amway is not teaching sell products and get people. And if
Exactly.
you went to the conferences, you would know that
Yeah, you're
they're
right. They're not
teaching.
teaching sell products. You're right about that.
No, they okay, sure. You can try to twist my words. That's fun. You think it's funny,
I
but
mean,
this is
I
what I'm
didn't
gonna
twist
laugh
it. I
about.
quoted you. You
You're
said
gonna
that.
be here. No, you're trying to twist it in a way to say, hey, we don't sell products, but we do sell
Okay, go
products.
ahead.
Matter of fact, our
Clarify.
products have to be verified sales, or we don't get bonuses.
Sure.
We have to have customers.
Go ahead.
You can sit up here and try to say that people are faking or not. You have people with bad business practices, and they might try to fake the system. And when they get caught by Amway, they get kicked out of the company. They don't condone that. Amway is not, you said Amway is a network marketing company. Amway is a supplier. This is private franchising.
It's
That's
not
what this
true.
is. I'm choosing, yes, it is. If okay, McDonald's, Hamburger University, Chicago, Illinois. You know where that's at, right?
Yep.
Chicago,
Yep.
Hamburger University,
Yep.
real place
Yep.
where people go to learn how to run a McDonald's.
Yep.
And they also have a supply team. So the person that owns that McDonald's doesn't have to worry about anything but selling burgers and expanding network.
Yep.
It has a high cost to get into it, and then it has a few years before you can go from red to black. We're doing the same thing, but we're doing it through people,
Not
and
true.
we
I can
do sell
explain why.
products. Okay, but you've never built it to a successful level. So how can anything you say be credible until you try go build it and see for yourself? Instead, you'd rather sit back and say, hey, what you're doing is not true because I've looked up all these different things and talked to all these different people who failed. When I have very successful people that have very credible businesses outside of Amway that are building Amway. So you're just saying anybody in Amway is evil. They don't know anything. Everything is wrong. That's not
Again, I
true.
didn't say
That's
that.
literally not true. And I'm a living testimony to it. And I can also tell you this. When we get off this stream, you're going to continue to find all these reasons. You're going to continue to teach all these things, and people are going to continue to find it. And Amway is still going to continue to run. It's still going to continue to get stronger. It's still going to continue to be successful. If I'm in it, if whatever, doesn't matter. It's still going to run. These are two different industries. And if you really believe that you have a case and that this is so evil, I applaud that. Go to the FTC and tell them I have the strongest case. I've been doing this for years. I want to work with you guys. I want y'all to bring me on your team. I want to take down the head of the beast. I believe I can do it, Marco. And if they have
I'm
faith
working
in you,
towards
you
that.
present that case, please do it.
I'm working
And if you
towards
do
that. As
it,
a
I
matter of
will
fact,
come
Ray,
back on your
you saw
stream and say, hey, bro,
you
you
saw
are
at the beginning
absolutely
of the
right.
month,
I
2
did
weeks
not
ago,
know.
you saw the
I
FTC
didn't
sued
know.
I Am Academy, right? You saw the FTC
What'd you
finally
say?
sued I Am Academy, right?
No. I Am Academy. I told you that. I agree with you with
Yeah,
I Am
who is
Academy.
the
I
one
told you. I
who
said they
was the
have
one who
poor
was like the
leadership.
first to expose that company? Who was the one who made the biggest videos about that company? If you go on YouTube and look up that company name.
Sure. Was it you?
It
I'm
was
guessing you
me.
saying that because it was
And who
you.
was the person
Okay, sure.
that urged people to report the company to the FTC Competition
Sure.
Bureau?
Hey, tell everybody to report Amway. Tell them. Please.
So I am
Please
working
tell them.
towards what you're talking about. I'm trying to make
Work on it.
and again, by
Work
the
on
way,
it. You
since you
can
want
do
to
it,
talk about
Marco,
you being
because I'm
like the good
telling you,
one
this
and
is a
you're lifting
legitimate
people up and
company.
whatever, I guess if I
Okay.
wanted to use some like confirmation bias or like appeal to authority fallacy, I would point to the I Am Academy FTC lawsuit and say, hey, actually, I am credible to talk about this because even though I never was in MLM, I understand it to the point that my efforts led to a few years after my videos, the FTC suing a company. So I actually think
I bet in that
I
case,
actually
I
think
bet that they
I
probably
can
used something from Amway though.
assert my opinion. Say
I bet
again.
they did.
What was the
I said, I
question?
bet in that case, well, maybe you read all the case
Yeah,
notes.
yeah.
Amway is used as a template, so that's
Yeah, and
probably why those
Christopher
complaints were
Terry
taken
started in Amway.
seriously.
He has an interview where he's on camera saying he started
I
in Amway.
know, I know. I was at a function and I heard him say it. And you want to know what he said about Amway? I was sitting there in the crowd.
What
I
is
was
it?
there in Miami. I was actually at the function. And he
Amazing.
got on stage and he said, I used to be in a company called Amway. And, I learned this, and this, but I decided to start my own company for this, and this reason. And the people in the crowd were like, Amway, scam. And I was just shocked. I was like, whoa, Amway is not a scam. Like, that's some of the best leadership I've ever been around ever. And it's people that are misinformed. Like when you have, that's like Amway saying, hey man, Jordan, hey man, I'm better than Kobe. No. So when I hear other people talk about companies or try to bash other companies, it's like, wait, bro. Like that don't make sense. All I'm trying to tell you is that this company is going to function. I think that your efforts are going to be null. I don't think that you're going to have success with that. But if you do, I'm not the type of person to try to sit up here and hide. I'm just like
What do you
you.
mean? I'm already
I'll come
successful with
I'll
it.
come back and
I'm
say, hey
already
man,
like
look,
a
you know
valid
what?
consumer protection voice. What are you talking about? I have 111,000 subscribers. The FTC
Sure,
just sued a
sure.
company that I
And I
ran a whole
respect you
campaign
for that.
against.
I respect you for that. I really do respect you for that. I think that you're well informed. You know, you obviously are educated. You take your time to look up all these things, but you're missing the one thing to make me listen to you.
So which
And
is
that
it?
is
Am I very
you
well
have to
informed and you
build it.
respect me, or does
You
my
have to
opinion
go
not
to the
matter at all because I
functions.
never
You
built it?
have to hear for yourself. I don't think that I'm sorry, I wasn't. What did you say? What
I
did you
said,
say?
which one is it? Am I very well informed and you respect what I do, or should I not be listened to and I'm just doing this to benefit myself because it's my opinion and my belief and nobody should listen to me
No,
because I never
I'm
built
saying
it?
in
Which one
your
is
own
it?
regard for what you've built, in your own regard for what you've built, I believe that you put together your information well. But you have not gotten the experience, Marco. That matters. It's not
Imagine
just
Ray.
about numbers.
Ray, imagine just for a moment,
You
bro.
can sit up here and look at numbers all day.
Ray,
This
imagine
company
I
is a
told
very
you, Ray.
successful company and it's skewedness on both sides.
Ray.
You see what I'm saying? Like you're just using all the bad examples, and that just doesn't make sense to me
Ray.
that you can just focus on that. I'm
Ray.
listening to you.
Imagine I watched one by one people jump off of a cliff to their death. And then I said to you, Ray, you should go and do that. And you said, no, Marco, look, all of these people jumped off a cliff to their death. Look, the statistics show there's been 100 people, and so far we've seen 99. There's one guy left. We've seen 99 die. What is the odds that the last guy is going to survive? And I said, but Ray, you haven't tried it, so you can't say that. You might have all the data and statistics, but you can't say that because you never tried it, Ray.
And then you walk over to that cliff and you realize, oh snap, it's a pool. That's a diving board. Come on, man. I could play that game too. That don't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What?
The whole set.
Man, look, this is what I can tell you, man. This is what I can tell you. At the end of the day, you know, you're gonna have your content creation. We're gonna get off this stream and we're gonna go back to our lives.
Oh, my
And
God.
I'm
Oh, my
still gonna.
God.
I don't even know if you can
Oh,
still hear me. Can you still
oh
hear
my
me?
God. Hold on.
Okay, he can't hear me.
Hold on. Ray. Ray, you're crazy. You've lost your
Man,
mind.
look, no, I don't think I've lost my mind, Marco. This is what I'm trying to help you understand. You know, and it's matter of fact, it's not even about understanding Amway, you know, because people like when you talk upon deaf ears and people have the belief that they have, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. You know, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. You're going to believe what you want to believe. You're going to take your actions. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. I'm going to take my actions and I'm going to continue to live my life. And if I'm really am doing something so evil, when I pass away and I have to look God in his face and he's like, hey, man, you did terrible things to people. You make them jump off this cliff. Now I condemn you. Then I'm going to be condemned. But you want to know something? I believe this is what I wholeheartedly believe. I believe that it's people out there that need help. And I believe that it's people out there that have things that they're battling, things that people really don't talk about, addictions that they have. I believe that it's people out there that have super success and have bad relationships, and it's people that are super poor and might have good relationships. And I believe that if I come across them and I present myself correctly to them and I'm willing to take on that battle with them and help them succeed and give them a vehicle that they can succeed in and they have a chance to succeed in, I'm doing something that's right. I believe that if I can stand in front of somebody and say, I can help you do this, I can help you build this, I can help you learn how to sell the products, I can help you learn how to build the distribution teams, and I can help you be successful in this business, and they trust me to do that, and they're accountable to me, and I partner with them, I wholeheartedly believe that I am doing a legitimate business that is approved. There's nothing illegal about it. You believe what you believe, sure. But we're gonna go back to that life. And if I'm wrong and I never succeed in Amway, I can just be another laughing stock for everybody right here. But when I get off this stream, because I don't even have a big Amway distributorship. When I get off this stream, I'm still gonna have people that look up to me. I'm still gonna have the people in all the various countries that I've been, all the different states that I've been to, all the homes that I've sat in, the coffee shops that I've sat in, and people that poured their heart out to me while they want to have better lives. I'm going to stand on the experience of that versus any court document, versus anything that could be presented against in anything, because I'm there. I'm living it. So if you have people that believe in what you're saying and they know this without a shadow of a doubt, they're going to find success somewhere, and I can wish them well on that. But I'm going to be right here defending my flag, defending my territory, saying, hey, this is great for me, great for my setup, great for my personality. I've gotten value from this and I can run with this. You can talk about the numbers all day, because we know that some of those, like the numbers, are not true numbers no matter what, because you have those quitters. You have people that literally sit up and be like, oh, I'm going to try to take advantage of this company. You have people that steal the information. I've had people pirate information from me and then try to sell it as their own and been successful at it. Like literally lost $200,000 doing that. Somebody was in my chat poaching. Like, wow, I can't believe I was smart. I got to be on top of it. But you have people that do things like that too. And you can try to use all these different things, different devices. It doesn't matter, because I'm out there really helping people, and you're here just trying to say, hey, this is bad. And if you take it away, sure, I'll admit it, and then I'll find something else to help people. It doesn't have to be in network marketing. I'm an entrepreneur. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
well,
And I'm
I
very good
mean,
at it, and I'm very successful at it. So
I
I
mean,
don't see nothing funny.
I
Most
do
of the
wish
people
that
in the chat,
I
most of the
wish.
people in the chat that's probably laughing at me can't even fathom some of the things that I've seen or
Well, Ray, I
did.
think
But they
the
want
only
to
thing
laugh
people
at
were
me and they don't
laughing
even
at
know
was how
me. So that
stupid it
just kind
was
of
for you to say, "Imagine it's a pool." I gave a very like
imagine it's a pool.
yeah, but
Imagine, no, that's what I'm saying. Imagine, like, it's just different perspective. You have your perspective,
no,
I
but
have mine. You can laugh at that all you want,
in
but
my hypothetical, there was no pool. I just said, imagine you saw people jump off a cliff and die. What, did they all
yep.
just miss the pool? They all just jumped
No,
three
you thought
feet
they
to the
died.
left of the
You
pool?
said, hey, but Ray, they died. I'm like, nah, bro, it's water down there. You don't even
Okay,
see
but
it.
let's no. Don't change the imagination. Just pretend that pretend we're living within my hypothetical where they did die. Pretend they actually do
The
die.
joke was, hey man, it's all about perspective. You can take out of context. You can say I didn't say it
Okay,
right. It
doesn't
was stupid.
understand a
It
simple.
that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is I'm out there really building this business.
Okay.
I know the business probably just as much as you. Actually, no, that's an understatement. I know the business more than you. You know all the bad things
Sure.
about the business.
Okay. Well, I know the true
You
things.
know,
As you said, the
okay,
numbers
you
aren't
know the true
true.
thing,
You know what?
sure.
The
So that
numbers that
means
aren't
that
true
everybody
are
else that I've
Amway's
talked to,
numbers. Amway's numbers
sure,
aren't
everybody
true.
that I've talked to, people that I've seen have success, it's just not true. It's just not true. Everything that I know that I'm telling you, hey, because I've been there, I've actually done this. I can read too. I can hear too. I have cognitive ability too. Everything I'm
Okay.
telling you from true experience, it doesn't count because you debunk these other network marketing systems and blah blah blah. Okay, cool. That's what it is. You believe what you believe. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not going to sit here and
Well,
argue
again,
with you. I'm
I
going to get
only
off the stream
Ray.
and
I
continue to
listen,
move
listen, listen,
forward on
listen,
what I
listen,
believe
listen,
is best
listen.
for my life, and that's what matters.
Listen, you have a channel.
That's what
You
matters.
got 22,000 subscribers, right?
I do.
You know that
I
if
just
you
got back
say some,
consistent on that channel too.
yeah, you know if you say something that's wrong, people are gonna come at you online, and it lives online forever. So I would imagine that you
Mhm.
don't purposely try to say incorrect things and then publish it
No,
online to exist forever. This is why
no.
I have an open invitation to anyone who can actually disprove the numbers or the simple logic or the simple math, and I will delete my entire channel. There's an open invitation for that because, again, I don't believe anything that I can't prove. I only believe what I know. I don't believe in belief. I believe in truth. And I know what I know.
Belief is truth, Marco.
No, it's not. If I
If
believe the
it's
sky
my
is
yes, it
green,
is.
is
If
it
it's my
green?
no, if it's my experience and this is
Oh,
my
my
life from
truth.
what I've seen about this.
Mm.
No, because what you're doing is your truth.
No, it's not.
It's the
It's
same thing,
the
Marco.
truth. If I say the sky, if I
Okay.
believe the sky is green, is it green? Is it valid for me to say that because that's what I believe?
I mean, you can manipulate the words all you want,
No,
Marco. I
answer
know
the
what you're
question. I'm
doing.
I'm trying to understand what your point is. If I
I know where
believe the
this is
sky is
going.
green, is it green?
The sky is blue.
Right. I would agree with you that I would be
But
wrong if
God
I
made
thought
the
the sky was
sky.
green, right?
God made the sky though, Marco. So that doesn't even compare. This is what you're saying. You're saying, hey, I have such compelling evidence. I've never built a business, never went to the conference, never did anything. But I have such compelling evidence that this is a scam based off the numbers, based off of all the horror stories, based off all the court cases, and anything I tell you saying, hey man, I don't even know about all those court cases. I wasn't even living when some of that stuff was going on. Maybe that was something that they fixed. I don't know. I just know that from
Ray,
what I experienced and
big
what has happened to
claims.
me and the value that I've had in other businesses from the things that I've learned from this company and also the success that I'm already seeing just now starting. I believe that this company is great for me and it works for me because I work it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm
So
not you
Ray,
saying that it's wrong
so
and,
Ray,
and
do
you
you
trying to
believe? Do you
that's what
believe?
most people do in debates. They just want to be right. I
Ray,
make decisions and
Ray,
then I
Ray,
make the
Ray.
decision right, bro. This is a great company in my experience.
Ray, do you believe that the reason the numbers are as bad as they are, the 99.9% loss rate, do you believe that exists simply because people were too lazy to work the system?
Where did you get that number from?
The
The
2011 Consumer Awareness
99,
Institute report by John
the
Taylor on the multi-level on the FTC's website, where John Taylor examined the compensation plans of
2011?
350 MLMs, Amway included, and determined that you have a better chance of making money gambling than you do in MLMs, and that a minimum of
Well, one thing I know about
99.6% of
math, okay,
distributors
and he broke down
annually
that
will lose
math,
money.
and he broke down that math, and you really believe that?
There's a full. It's not what I believe. Again, he demonstrated it with math. He used the math to show
So
the
when you
endless
go
chain
into
was
any, so
mathematically
when you go into
impossible.
any business, Marco, when you go into any business,
Every time I
you're
point something
guaranteed to
out, you
win.
jump to another
You're
thing.
guaranteed to
Answer my
win at this
question.
business.
Answer my question. Why do you think the loss rates are as high as they are?
I
Even
don't.
if
Well, that's a question that I don't want to answer because I don't think the fact is true.
okay, well
Like,
let's
what
just
is this? Did
imagine it
that
is.
like?
Just like we
But
imagined
it's
there was a
not.
pool. Okay, yeah, there wasn't a pool there either, but we imagined there
That
was.
was
So let's just
hypothetical. That was just you trying to.
okay. Now this is
That was you
hypothetical
giving a
too. Now
scenario.
this is
Okay,
hypothetical too.
sure. And I would still do the business because my
Okay,
success does not
right.
depend on a number.
So
You know how
what do
many
you
people
think the
fail at
loss
trade?
rates
You
are
know
in
how many people
MLM?
fail at trading? You know how many people fail at trading?
Yeah, the majority.
The majority.
Yeah,
And I
because
ain't a
trading
part
is
of them. So
basically
I'm built
gambling.
different, and
It's
anybody that's
basically
connected
It's
to me can be
speculative.
built different.
Yeah, because
It
it's
can be
gambling. It's
speculative, sure.
speculative.
Okay, you could say it's gambling, but I'm consistent at it. So learn how to gamble. Like
Okay.
you are coming from a place where it's like, hey man, since this is just so bad, everybody is losing money. That's going to
Right, you're
determine
so
your
close.
success.
You're so close to getting it, but
It's
so far away. You
no, no,
accept
no,
that
no, no,
you
no,
accept
no, no.
that
It's
there's a
not about
chance you
getting it.
hold
You
on.
want me to get. You
Listen
want
to
me to
me,
get a
Ray.
loser
You accept that
mentality. I
there's a
don't have
chance that
loser
you could lose
mentality.
money from trading because it's speculative, but you don't accept that there's a chance that you could lose money in Amway.
There
So let
is
me
a
ask you,
risk.
what do you
You
think the
can
loss
lose
rates in
money in
Amway are?
Amway. Absolutely. You can do Amway for years and years and years and lose and lose and lose.
But
Just like you
why?
can do any other business for years
So
and
why do
lose and
people
lose
lose in
and
Amway?
lose.
Ray, answer that. Why do you think?
Why do people lose in
Yeah, why?
Amway? Because they don't do the work.
Got it. So what do you
They
think
don't
the
do the
actual
work. They don't want to sell products.
Ray, I'm just
They
asking you a
don't
couple
want to learn.
questions. I just want to ask you a
Sure.
couple
Okay, I'll
questions.
stop.
Okay,
You
so
want to?
that
Okay.
was a simple answer. We can keep it short and simple. Why? What
Okay.
do you think the average loss rates in Amway are? Do you think 50% of people lose money? You said you don't believe the 99%. Okay, fine. What do you think it is?
Okay. I'm not. To be frank, I'm not concerned with what people are losing.
Okay, so
That's what
so
you're
that
not
doesn't
getting.
matter to you at all.
No, that's the risk associated with business because I know that is more complex than you. You see it as a number. I see it as people that are coming into this business and do absolutely nothing. They
Okay.
do absolutely nothing. I see people that come into the business and they try to find shortcuts to systems that are already put in place where you can win.
So Ray, so
I
hold on.
know the
Okay, I get it.
reasons
You
why
don't need to
people
go on
lose
and
in this
on. You don't need
business
to go on
because
and
I
on. We
do
can
it.
just keep it short and
Okay,
digestible.
sure.
Okay.
Okay, keep it
Okay.
short. I got
Okay.
you.
So statistics don't matter to you is what I'm understanding, right? Like if you were to determine whether you should.
Statistics matter, risk matters,
Okay.
but I matter too. My decision and my effort matters too.
Okay.
So
So
that makes statistics not count. For me, you can think whatever you think. Hey, what you're telling me right now is, hey man, if I got in that business based off them statistics, I'm gonna suck.
okay.
And that might be true, but not
Um.
for Ray. I can get in this business. You can say nobody wins at it. I bet I find a way to win. I bet I find a way to sell those products. We have
Yeah, there
great
is a
products. Why would we
way.
have
There is a
a
way.
180-day satisfaction guarantee on our products if they suck?
Yeah. The way to
Y'all say
get.
we don't sell products, but we have 1,000 patents and we have all this. You know how much money we put into research? Y'all can talk about Nutrilite vitamin, Nutrilite company, whatever. I know y'all know all the companies and stuff, but guess what? That's a great company. It helps a lot of people. It sure does, and it's going to continue to help people.
Okay. You don't need
It's
to
going to
keep going
continue to
on
have
and on and on with
groundbreaking
the same
research.
point, Ray.
No, I'm just telling
This
you,
isn't a
like these are
conversation if you're just
facts.
rambling at me.
These are facts, man.
Okay.
You rambling at me. These are complete facts.
It's not a fact, but okay. It's not a
Okay.
fact.
It's not a fact for your channel, and I can live with that.
Okay.
I can live with that.
You
I
know,
promise you I
I
can.
want to go back to one thing, two things actually. One, was the idea. I hear this in MLMs a lot where they say hate never comes from above. You know, people are trying to pull you down. When it comes to me, though, a successful YouTuber beating the odds and doing a job that the majority of people in the Gen Z or whatever would like to do. You know, I'm an influencer technically. For some reason, when hate, what they perceive as hate, is even coming from above, from somebody who's like successful in a very difficult thing, which is YouTube, and you know this because you have a channel as well. For some reason, now it's not hate doesn't come from above. Now it's, okay, it's coming from above, but yeah, that guy's just doing it to big himself up, and he's tearing other people down to try to big himself up. Again, it doesn't matter what I do or don't do. The MLM apparatus will twist it some way to justify discrediting me. And what I don't understand about you using it is that, like, how do I say
I'm
this?
not trying to discredit you though.
I mean, you've tried to discredit me so many times by saying, "Oh, you think you know better than the FTC, FBI. Oh,
No,
you don't
no, no,
have the
no. I'm
experience.
just
Oh, you
pointing out to
believe
you
this, you
that
believe that." All of that is to discredit
okay.
me.
No,
And
that's
you
not to
also said
discredit
that
you.
this,
I'm
I'm
just
doing
saying
this for
that
my
the
own
very
benefit, like
no,
my
no,
channel and whatever.
the
So
very thing that you're saying network marketing is doing, you're doing for your channel. But we could take that away. Let's say you condemn this, you take it away. What do you produce? What solution are you giving people? Say, hey, don't do the Amway business, do this because this business is
yes.
guaranteed.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of my favorites. Well, you're not offering people an alternative is the essentially what you're
No,
saying. That
can you answer the question?
yes.
I know that I know that you have these things that you've studied, and you think that I'm trying to use things that I was taught. No, this is real life experience. I'm
I'm
saying
answering your question. Stop
if
talking.
you take
You
away, if
asked
you
me,
take
yeah,
this
if I
away,
take
sure,
away
I'm
everything
asking
that I
again so
do,
you can
what am I
understand
doing?
it. If you take this away, what are you with your current YouTube channel? What are you offering people? Because what you're saying is Amway is not guaranteed. That means that you're going to offer them a guaranteeable business. What business are you offering
That's
them
not
that's
what that means.
guaranteed?
Again, this is like if somebody who had a career going around to schools telling kids about the dangers of drugs. Imagine if one of those kids stood up and said, well, what should I do instead of doing drugs? It's such a stupid question because there is inherent value in showing people what they shouldn't do and how to avoid dangers. It's such a dumb question, with all due respect, to say, well, oh, I'm telling people. I never sold anyone a business. I'm not telling people what they should do. They can go do whatever the fuck they want to do. I'm not telling people what they should do. I'm a YouTuber, for God's sakes. I don't tell people they should go be a YouTuber. I know that it's hard. I know that most of them are probably not going to make it. So I don't tell people to do that, even though that's what I do myself. I make videos for free about the dangers of multi-level marketing so that people don't
Sure,
waste their money and lose years of their lives and cut
sure.
off their close relationships in pursuit of a dream that was sold to them, which was a lie. That's the simple answer.
But
Go
you
get
know
a
what? You know
job.
what I think?
I tell people,
I
get a
think
job.
hey, yeah, I know, and that's unfortunate because I think you're condemning people because people in this business do have jobs. We don't sit over here and try to swindle people. We
Mm,
wouldn't even have enough time to do
you
that.
don't have a
You
job.
believe
If you
that.
join Amway, you're not an employee. You don't get benefits. You don't get tax returns. You don't choose what you sell. You don't choose. You're not
You
only
don't get tax returns. Oh my God.
you don't get tax returns from the company. You have to do it by yourself. You're an independent contractor. You don't get pink slips and shit like that.
Dude, that is taxes.
Yeah, and you do it by yourself. You don't get it from the company. If you had a normal job, the company would give you documentation for that. It would be
No,
deducted from your
Amway does.
paycheck.
Amway is a supplier and they do give you
Yes,
your
okay.
documentation so
Thank
you
you for
can do
bringing that
your
up again.
taxes.
I want to go back to the lie that Amway is a supplier. I know you don't mean to lie, but you've been misinformed, and I'm going to debunk that for you right now. And you're gonna realize, hopefully, that I'm actually trying to help you.
You know what? I'm just misinformed about everything, but
Yes, you are, because
I just continue to win, man.
there's been a
I
calculated
continue to
attempt to
win.
misinform you by scammers. I don't fault you for it.
No, but this is the thing. No, because you could just say it comes to me because somebody can tell me something the same way all those people in IML was trying to say, oh, built this business, and I was like, wait a minute, nah, I'm gonna do my own research.
Yeah, huh?
Hey, you know what? This business has the weakest leadership I've ever seen in my life. But
Uh-huh.
you want to know something I do know? They had great scanners, they had great products, and they had great teachers. So
Uh-huh.
you can say MLM is bad, but I pulled information from that, and this is a part of learning. You can go to a bullshit meeting
Uh-huh.
and still learn something valuable from that meeting.
Uh-huh.
So I'm in this company, I pull this information, I do my own study, and I find success in the industry for myself. I'm in Amway.
You've said
You
this
can say
so many
I'm a
times, Ray. Relax,
sure
please.
because you're saying the same thing over
No,
and
I'm
over
not.
too.
I'm
You're
actually
just
trying to
basing
address
everything
a
off
new
of
point that you
everything
made, which
negative.
was about Amway being a supplier. Can I please explain to you why that's not true?
It, okay, go ahead. Explain. I'm sure you know.
Okay. And the reason this is so fresh in my mind is because I'm working on the next infiltrating a pyramid scheme video on my channel, which I've been working on for 2.5 years. So I've been spending my
Hmm.
days recently doing a lot of writing, debunking all of the different claims. And one of the claims that this company made was the same thing as what you're saying, that they're a supplier of their products, just like you're saying Amway is a supplier. I'm gonna draw an analogy for you so that we're on the same page and so the audience can understand this as well. Okay. Walmart orders wholesale from Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola produces Coca-Cola. Walmart is their customer. Do we agree so far?
Sure.
Okay. Walmart makes an order of X amount of bottles of Coca-Cola from the Coca-Cola company. Boom, that's how Coca-Cola made their money. Are we on the same page so far?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Now Walmart has a bunch of Coca-Cola. They're going to mark the price up a little bit. Now that's the retail price. Are we on the same page so far?
We there.
Okay. Now Walmart is going to put Coca-Cola on the shelves, and when customers come in who want to buy Coca-Cola, they'll pay the retail price and Walmart makes a profit. Do we agree so far?
Hmm.
Okay. So in this example, the supplier was who? Okay. So Coca-Cola supplied to
I
Walmart.
understand it.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
not gonna play around with you. Just get to the
Okay,
point.
now think about Amway. You described you made the analogy earlier of like McDonald's University. Okay, I'll explain
Hmm.
why that is not an apt one-to-one comparison in a moment, but let's just stick with the claim that Amway is the supplier.
Hmm.
Amway sells the products to the distributors. The distributors buy it from Amway, right?
You do not have to buy a product as a distributor.
Okay, so how are you going to get products to sell if you're in Amway if you don't buy it from
Because
Amway?
Amway is an e-commerce business. They can go directly to your site and buy directly from your site. It
Okay.
would be advantageous for the person to use their products because you can't sell a product that you don't use and you don't have to sell all of them.
Okay,
You
but
can
let's
sell
not
a
talk
few
about
products
just
that you relate with.
okay, sure, that's true. Retail customers, if they really want to buy some Amway Neutralite or excess energy drink or whatever, they can go directly to your site, and it's basically like a referral or an affiliate system where they use your code or your link, and you get the commission, right? But I'm talking about when
Absolutely, you can get the commission,
distributors, when
sure.
they go direct and they buy from Amway, or like when you recruit someone and they set up their Amway IBO account or whatever, and they buy from Amway. You get what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so Amway makes money off of that, right? The Amway
Well, yeah,
Corporation.
the dollars go through the supplier. Absolutely, the
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
way
Okay, I'm not trying to
Walmart
trick you. I'm
did.
not trying to play a gotcha game here. We're just
No, 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 no. I
okay,
got you. I understand what you're
okay,
doing.
okay.
I'm prepared.
Now the Amway distributors have the products, right? Let's just say in this example, they got a box of starter kit or whatever shipped to their home, and now they have it. At that point,
Mhm.
Amway is already Amway has already conducted their business as far as they're concerned. Amway is not concerned with, from a business point of view, with whether or not the distributors sold those products, consumed those products, or if those products
They are
sat on a
concerned.
shelf in the garage
They
collecting
they
dust.
are
As
concerned.
long as the distributor continues to make new orders every single month, that's the only thing Amway cares about. And again, Amway wouldn't even know whether these products were sold in the first place. Coca-Cola,
Yes, they
okay,
would.
hold on. Going back to my Coca-Cola analogy, if Walmart was
Wow.
unsuccessful at selling any Coca-Cola,
Fine.
it would probably mean that they don't order from Coca-Cola anymore. And Coca-Cola would be concerned. Why aren't people buying Coca-Cola? Is the flavor bad? Do we need to update the packaging? Where is it on the shelf in the store, etc.? These would all be important data metrics for a company that's concerned with actually selling products to know, right? With Amway, once Amway sells the products to the distributors, they have no idea, they have no data around what customers are actually enjoying, the packaging, the ingredients, the quantity, etc. They have no idea who their demographics are. They don't know any of that data, and yet they've been around
And
for a
how do
long
you know
time.
that,
So
Marco? How do you know that?
this must mean their money is coming from somewhere. Well, the only
How do
sales
you
that
know
they
that?
let me finish. The only sales that Amway could actually even track, and the only ones they care about, are the sales to their own distributors. So actually, it's not true what you said that Amway is the supplier and the distributors are the distributors. Actually, Amway is the retailer and the distributors are the customers.
No.
Okay.
If that was the case, Amway would be shut down.
Not true.
No, okay, let me break it down for you. That is true because other companies have been scrutinized for that and
I
have
can
been shut
explain
down.
why Amway gets away with it as well.
You can explain everything. I know
Yeah,
you
because I
can.
know
All
everything
right.
about this topic. I've dedicated 6 years of my life to this topic. I've been sued 3 times because of my
Yeah.
work on this topic. I've
Sure,
read all the books on
sure.
this topic. I've read all the reports, all the literature. I've talked to all the experts. I've have the most experience actually investigating these companies, going in person to their events than anybody else. I've had to uproot
And
my
they're
entire
still
life for this
here.
for this
And
work.
they're
So yeah,
still
I
here.
I do know what I'm talking about. I can't
All
explain
right, so
everything.
watch.
Yeah,
I know.
actually, I
Oh, now
can't
watch
explain
this. Now watch
everything.
this. I'm gonna explain it to you how it works. I'm gonna
Okay.
explain to you how it works. We have to have verified customers, Marco. This means that if our sales are not verified through a customer and their card information. So Amway, we must be making fake cards or something.
Yes, they
If
do.
we don't verify those, oh my God.
People, it's
Okay,
called
so we
inventory
making
loading
fake
or
debit
bonus
cards. So
buying.
we got
People
businesses
literally
with
use their
Visa.
dog's name to sign up as a distributor and use the same credit card so that they can increase their PV and their TV and their OV so that they can rank advance to the higher rank and get more.
Wow.
This is true.
This is not true,
Okay.
Marco. It's blowing me away.
I'm blown away.
It's blowing me away.
I'm blown away how
That
you
that that was more
stonewall
idiotic
every
than what you said.
logical
I said
conjecture
about
or
the
piece of
water, bro.
factual hard data that I throw at you. It's
Nobody
amazing.
is
It's actually
putting a
amazing.
dog name nobody is putting dog names and putting fake card information to make sure they're PV and BV. Like they wouldn't even be
Yes,
able
they
to
do.
sustain
Yes, they
that.
do.
No, they don't.
Okay.
You know what sticks out the most? You don't. I know you don't know because you're not there.
Once
You
again,
don't know.
you
You
keep
don't
going
have
back
a
to this
team.
weak ass
You
excuse
don't.
of
You
that I
never
wasn't
built it. No, no,
there.
no. I know. I know why you won't build it. I know that. I got you. But what I'm saying is let's say you say, you know what, man? Let's put together a team of people, and we just gonna pretend that we want to be in the Amway system, and we're gonna infiltrate this Amway system, and we're gonna prove how it's fake and how they make fake customers and do all these things. And you will go and see that it's actually going to take you having an actual customer. And if you try, matter of fact, if I said, hey man, I'm going to make this video, I'm going to get on YouTube and I'm going to try to spam this link out. Amway looks for that. Like, no man, this is a relationship based business. And you have to talk to people. We have to make sure that you really are selling to real people. You can't spam bots. You can't do these things. You laughed at me in the emails when I said quality assurance, but I'm telling you right now, we can't even say things like, oh, my lifestyle is like this because of Amway. If I say something like that, ding,
Can I tell
boom.
you
Like
why?
it's sure, probably. I mean, probably because something you're doing. Like
Amway
maybe
has
that's
been
what it is.
sued so many times and spent tens of millions of dollars settling cases alleging that they're a pyramid scheme and trying to fight against regulation from regulators like the FTC. The reason that they have this quality assurance thing is because Amway has propped up this lie for decades that there is a difference between an illegal pyramid scheme and a legitimate multi-level marketing company. And in their attempts to make them appear like one of the good ones, who's like the grandfather of the industry who sets the example for everyone else, they are more meticulous about not letting claims be made out there as publicly as you would be able to find for a different company like, I don't know, Herbalife, for example. But even they have reeled it in recent years since their lawsuit in 2016. But anyways, the point remains, the reason is because Amway has already paid out so much money and had so many close calls with regulators that they're more on top of it when it comes to deceptive claims being made. But that doesn't mean they're not being made, and they just do it in different ways. So for example, I have a video on my channel called Confronting an Amway Recruiter, where this was in my hometown 2 years ago. I was sitting at a cafe with my friend, and I saw a woman in the cafe with her Perfect Water and her Who Moved My Cheese book, and she was just sitting in the cafe by herself. And time went on and time went on and time went on. She didn't buy anything. She just sat there drinking her water and reading her book until a young girl who was in university came and sat next to her. And she starts chatting her up, and I could just tell from the look in her eye and from the body language and from the few words that I could hear from a distance, I could tell that she was dropping the message and she was recruiting her. And so afterwards, I confronted this woman in the parking lot, and I said, I know what you were doing in there. She tried to deny it. Oh, no, it's not about recruiting, blah, blah, blah. She tried to tell me it's not
It's
about
not.
recruiting when I just caught her recruiting. And the only reason we're having this convo is we're
So
recruiting. And so I went back
for
into the
recruiting,
cafe and I told the
okay.
girl, hey, do you know about Amway? Do you know who that woman was? No, that woman just thought that girl just thought she made a new friend. She told me she's in there studying
Hmm.
for university, and the Amway woman said, "Oh, hey, I like your iPad," which is such a, that was like her icebreaker to try to connect with her. Oh, I like your iPad. Who gives a fuck about her iPad? Every iPad is the same. How do you like someone's iPad? Either you like, I mean,
Hmm.
it's just such a stupid thing to say. So she tried to like befriend this girl who was probably 15 years younger than her, and I told the girl, I said, that I know that girl got your phone number. I saw you exchange information. She's going to text you probably tomorrow or sometime next week, inviting you to like coffee or to a party, but don't go. It's actually just a recruiting pitch for Amway. So I caught this in the real world. And this happens constantly every day.
So what's the difference between the military doing that, other businesses doing that, career fairs doing that? It's the same thing. You had somebody there. Let me tell you what she probably was
Wait,
doing.
I'll answer. Let
She
me
was sitting in
answer.
that car. Hold on. No, 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 no,
You
no.
asked me a question. Let me answer.
No, you already debunked it. You're gonna say the same thing.
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna
not going
tell
to
you
say the
what she
same
was
thing.
doing.
The
Okay, go ahead.
military,
Go ahead.
the military, and this also goes back to another thing I wanted to touch on, which was the McDonald's university analogy. McDonald's, the
That's the
military, the
education
government,
system. That's
colleges,
you use that wrong, but
universities, all
okay.
of these things recruit, right? This is one of the words that people in MLMs hang on to as like trying to debunk
Mm.
what I say. Like, oh, well, all these things recruit. Recruiting isn't bad. They're conflating recruitment for a reason with the endless chain recruitment of MLM. They're not the same thing. For example, a university or a military will recruit, but only insofar as there are spots to be filled. A university is not going to recruit students beyond their capacity. That's why sometimes
Yes,
people
they
get,
will. I watched the university do it in Beaumont.
okay, universities turn people away. You could be not accepted to go to a university. In an
We
MLM, this
turn
would never
people
happen.
away.
Pardon?
What do you mean? I turn people away from my Amway business. What do you mean?
Let me finish making my point.
Oh, okay.
Because perhaps you have some secret sauce that you run your Amway business
No,
differently,
this
and
is
you're
the
the good
secret
one. You're the good
sauce.
apple.
This
So
no. I'm not trying to paint myself as a good person, but I am a real person. I am a father. I am a mentor,
okay,
and it's people in this chat whose lives I have affected. It's people that I've sat in front of and wholeheartedly said, "Hey, this is what it is.
okay,
This is the facts. I can help you through it." Like I believe in what I'm doing. You believe in what you're doing,
okay. Let me
but
finish.
you cannot take somebody saying, "Hey, I'm sitting in this coffee shop, I'm reading this book." Somebody come sit by me, I chatted up with them, they seem like they a cool person. I'll reach out to them later. Hey man, seems like
Bro,
I
why
got
the
this
fuck would
business.
you be talking to a stranger you don't know in public? Leave that person
I
alone. You don't
talk to
know them.
first of all, I talk to people all the time that I don't know. And I was doing that before I even knew about Amway.
Okay,
You can
sure.
ask some of
But
my
now
some of
you're in
my
Amway.
closest friends to this day.
Okay, but now you're in
Some of my
Amway and
closest
you want
friends
to
to this.
recruit them.
No, my people, my family, not interested in Amway. They don't even buy products from me. What do you mean?
Oh wow,
My
they must be
friends
haters
not in
and dream
Amway,
stealers
they
who don't
don't they
believe in
don't
you.
buy products from me. They don't. They don't. Now, have I sampled them a product? Hey man, hey, check this out. You know, my wife we take this. This is great. I've been taking it for years. I was using it when I wasn't in Amway. Great products. If they're not great, just get your money back. You don't. We're not trying to
Can
steal
I
your
just
money. You
finish?
don't like it, we'll
Can I
give you
just
your money
finish what
back.
I was trying to say, bro? The
Sure,
military does
man.
not win wars by recruiting the biggest downline of soldiers. You don't become a general in the military because you recruited 3 cadets, and you don't become an admiral because you recruited 3 commanders or whatever. In MLM, this
And you
is
don't
exactly
become
how it
that in
works.
Amway from recruiting people either.
Yes, you do. Now,
Oh yeah, okay.
now
Debunked
let
right
me
here. I know
address the
somebody that
McDonald's
sells
false equivalence.
fertilizer
Let me
to
address
golf.
the
They
McDonald's
sell
false equivalence
fertilizers.
here. You
They
mentioned
they sell
McDonald's
fertilizers to
University.
golf course. They have literally like maybe 7 to 10 people on their team, which you would say, hey, that's not big enough to be a platinum producer in Amway. But they sell an amazing amount of product to these golf courses, and they've been Q12 qualified for years. They don't have a big team. They go out and they actually sell the products. You have people that have that same type of structure and still say, hey, I can help people duplicate this. It's
Okay.
all about duplication. What you're doing right now, you're not offering anybody any type of duplication. You're just saying, hey, this business is bad.
Actually,
But
okay, I
I'm going
will
to sit
offer some
down and
duplication.
have a plan for anybody that
Guys,
I get in front of,
duplicate,
dude.
share my videos with 5 people and duplicate and make sure they share it with 5 people so that the
No,
whole
that's
world knows that
duplicating for
MLM is a
you.
scam. There,
That's
duplication.
you.
Okay, let me
You
finish
get
my
that.
point, Ray. You keep cutting me off.
No, I don't.
You keep
I'm really
mentioning
not.
you mentioned the McDonald's University analogy. This is a great point that
That's
I
for
wrote about
education.
thoroughly.
That's for education.
Okay, let me
Amway, it's
finish.
not just Amway.
Let
Amway
me
doesn't educate us.
finish.
I understand, Marco, but
Let me
you're
finish.
confused.
Let me finish.
You don't even. Oh, go ahead. Sure.
I'm gonna make
I
a
know this
new
is for the
point that
entertainment of your viewers.
I'm gonna make a new point that I haven't
Sure.
made yet. If my viewers have an issue, nobody's forcing them to be here. Nobody's selling them a dream. Okay. With
Okay.
McDonald's, and I just wrote about this exact analogy thoroughly in my work on the recent infiltrating a pyramid scheme video that I'm working on now. McDonald's opens new franchises all the time. We know this, right? If you become a franchise partner with McDonald's and you buy a McDonald's franchise, not only are you going to get the training to know how to operate it on your own, you're also going to get information and important data about the other McDonald's in your area and how well they do. And you're going to have your own region, territory, to make sure that you have an actual chance at success. They're not going to put a McDonald's right next to a McDonald's because that's going to
Yes,
hurt.
they will.
They might put 2
What?
McDonald's close to each other, but they're not going to put so many McDonald's in the same area that no one of them can sustain their business. It's called cannibalization in franchising. This is called cannibalization. Stay with me now.
And we give
Stay with
IBOs
me now.
information too. I'm with you, bro.
Stay with
I've
me
heard
now.
all of this before.
Also, when you
Trust
become
me,
a
I've heard it
franchise
all.
partner, you actually do have ownership. You actually do have an ownership stake in it. With Amway, that's not true. With Amway, they want you, and with every MLM, don't even let me just pick on Amway. With every MLM, they want you to recruit your own competitor with reckless abandon, with complete disregard for how many people in the world might actually want the product. This goes against the claim that any of these companies are actually concerned with selling products, because why would you recruit your own competitor? Some people respond to this and they say, well, oh, so many people want the product. We need more people. Normal sales companies do this. They have sales, you're a salesman and then you need more salesmen to help you. Yes, but you'll only recruit as many salesmen as needed to meet the demand of the market. In MLM, this is not the case.
So you're saying that it's no real demand for Amway products?
People, let me finish. When you're recruiting people in an MLM who also
understand.
have to buy products, there's no need to be concerned with how many people in the market want it. There's no need for a market at all, because the market is artificially manufactured through internal consumption of distributors recruiting new distributors who buy products, who recruit distributors who buy products, and they're all buying from each other within the closed loop of the system, which takes me back to the thing I explained before about how actually Amway is not the supplier, they are the retailer, and the distributors are the customers. Are there people who actually genuinely buy the Amway products and go to the affiliate links and make an order? Maybe, but not enough to sustain the business.
Oh, but it's a maybe.
Certainly.
So everything
sure,
that I
okay,
can
sure,
tell you
there
that
are,
I've seen.
but it's negligible.
No, I've seen
it's
it. You want to know? I'm gonna tell you how it works.
Model. How successful do you think you would be if you actually went out there trying to sell energy drinks just off your own selling strength without recruiting other people to try to get bonuses and increase your PV so that you can become a ruby and a sapphire and a diamond and get bonuses and get paid out and recruit 1,000 people to your downline? It's a complete fantasy that anybody in this world could go out there and sell Herbalife powder or Amway energy drinks or cleaning supplies out of however they chose to, the trunk of their car, Instagram, whatever. You're competing with all the big box retailers like Walmart and Target and Costco and Amazon, where people already mostly shop. And you're also trying to compete with the brands of similar products, parody
and those
products,
businesses don't have what you want to know. And those businesses have one.
Water,
they're missing one
cleaning
thing.
supplies,
Sure.
protein powder.
Sure.
You can get
they
all
have
of this
everything.
stuff cheaper and for better
they
quality
have everything,
from
and that's
brands
good
that are
for me,
already
Marco.
established that people already trust. The idea that anyone in Amway or any MLM is genuinely concerned with selling products is such a big lie that it requires 2 grown adults to sit here and talk about how unfathomable it is, because it's such a big lie that it seems unbelievable.
I understand
and yet
it.
you've
I understand
you've
it.
fallen
You
for
don't
it completely.
understand it. I've not fallen for it completely because you sit up here and you say, "Oh, do you really think it's possible for you to be able to sell drinks?" You're just pretty much saying like nobody in Amway has customers.
Do you think you'd be able to be a millionaire off of selling excess energy drink? The answer is no.
I bet I can make $1 million selling excess. You want to know how I know this? You can see. Matter of fact, I have about 144 cans downstairs, and I already have things set up to be in front of. I go and set up tables. I go and set up tables. I put my excess energy drink.
You're gonna
It's a
make $1
great
million
drink for
for
people
that?
that are
How much
diabetics.
profit do you make off 1 can of energy drink?
I sell it for $4 a can, man.
How much do you
sit
make?
up here and look at the numbers
How much
all
you make?
day. I make $1.
Okay, so you need to
make
sell 1
$1.
million cans.
$1.
So you're gonna sell 1 million cans.
No, this is how it's gonna work. I'm
Tell
not
me.
even gonna sell them. I'm gonna give them away for free. I'm gonna give them away for free. I bought this product.
like a
Watch
good
this.
business
Watch
model.
this. No, you're right. It is a good business model. I'm gonna talk to somebody. I'm gonna say, hey man, I see you drinking a Red Bull. Hey, check out my product. I'm gonna give them that can. I'm gonna follow up with them. They're gonna tell me if they like it or not. Most people like our product. It's a great product. Excess is a great
So
product.
full of shit.
And no, you can say it's full of shit, but this is real. I sample products. It's the relationship that sells the products. It's the relationship. You can laugh all you want, but I live it.
Imagine
I do
trying
it.
to claim that you're an actual businessman and an entrepreneur, and this is the kind of fantastical, whimsical nonsense you say.
So Red Bull doesn't give out free cans of Red Bull. They still do that to this day. What do you mean? You don't think all these other energy drink companies giving away free products? You think I'm giving away everything for free?
Red Bull is a
Give
multi-billion
away
dollar
one can, sell a
company
case.
that has
Give away one
a
can,
large
sell a
majority
case.
of the Red Bull has probably the majority of market share of all energy drinks. That them giving
And
away
that's
free
so good
cans
for
at
me.
let me finish.
That's so good for me.
Let me finish.
I
Red
know
Bull
you
is a
gonna say
successful
about the
company
numbers. It's amazing.
trying to maintain their market share dominance in the energy drink space. Them giving away free cans to keep the brand awareness high and keep people liking Red Bull or introducing new customers to Red Bull is a reasonable expense for them. They're a multi-billion dollar company. You are not. You setting up your little table of excess, you are not a multi-billion dollar company. You need to be worried now about bringing money in. A business is one thing.
I do.
Bringing
well,
money
first of all,
in.
I have
And you're
means,
talking about a
Marco.
$4 can of energy drink, which is already more expensive than I could buy a Red Bull or a Monster for. That's number one. Number two, you're only making a dollar
cap.
profit off of
That's
it.
cap.
Really?
But you're looking
Go
at the
find
number.
me
Let
a
me see.
$4 can of Monster. You couldn't do it. Even
I
I'm
can't
in
do it.
Asia right
Watch
now.
this, Marco.
Bro, I'm in Asia. If I want to buy a can of white Monster, it has to get imported. So I'm paying a premium on it. It doesn't even cost me $4 in Asia for an imported can of white Monster. That's a lie.
Oh my God. All right, watch this, Marco. You can say that this is a lie, but let me give you the math since you know math so well. Smart guy.
$1
If I
times
buy
1 million.
144 cans and I sample, I have 12 cans in a case. If I sample, my conversion rate is somewhere around 50 to 70%. If I give away 10 cans, 7 of those people will be customers for me because it's not just me giving a can to somebody that doesn't know me. I build a relationship with them. I'll sit there and talk to them and see what the needs are. Oh, the sugar you're trying to avoid. Oh, you want different flavors? We have 18 different flavors. I'm servicing a need like any other business owner. So I can look at it and say, oh, I can sell them one by one. Or watch this. I can sell it. They like it. And then they say, hey, man, I actually really like this drink. I want to get it on a regular basis. I'm going to bring that conversation up. Hey, tell you what, I can put you on a subscription for this. It's called Ditto, and you can get it every month. How many cases would you like? How many Red Bulls do you drink in a month? And I break it down for them. And now they can have that order at the 1st of every month, 15th of every month, the 12th of every month. It doesn't matter. We can set it up whenever you want it to process, and it can be there 7 days later. That's a strategy. We really do sell products. You can sit up here and try to debunk all you want.
You are never going to succeed at that. I'm telling you.
And I love when people tell me never. Everybody tell me, Ray, you ain't gonna be a great trader. I'm a great trader. Ray, you're not gonna be able to do this. I own my house. I own my cars. So you keep telling me never. You can sit up here and condemn. What I know about people who condemn and complain, they have nothing to offer, and they can sit up here and try to be God all they want. But I'm out here helping real people.
Ray,
I'm out here doing what's big. You sitting in Asia right now because you have all your subscribers giving you stuff and really just agreeing with you.
What do you mean?
But
You
I'm
have
out here helping
22,000
people with real
subscribers
problems
as well.
Guaranteed.
You have 22,000
around you in
subscribers as
business
well. I could say the
because
same
you
about
sit
you.
up and you worry about all of the problems of business. My success is not determined by numbers. Do I need to know market share, risk? Sure, I need to know all of those numbers. But the number one thing that matters is my work
Hold on, let me
ethic.
chat. Let me
Because if
test
you think
something.
about most companies that have
Chat,
succeeded,
put a number
they've
3
had.
in the chat if you would subscribe, or you have subscribed, or you currently do subscribe to an energy drink subscription. Put a number 3 in the chat, genuinely.
Well, I'm literally going to see no threes.
There's 400 people. I think that's a good sample size to see if this is something the market really wants.
That's not even fair.
How is it not
That's
fair?
crazy.
I think it's a reasonable question.
What?
There's 400 people.
Okay, so you're saying it's like 400 people. I wouldn't subscribe to this. If you had somebody put 6ix9ine, it's funny. If you pretty much had somebody, and that's not my only product. If you had somebody that liked this product and they getting it on a regular basis, and they normally would go to Costco or Walmart, and you've been servicing them, and you've been helping them get this product for multiple months, it's a high indicator that you can put them on a subscription service to get their drinks every single month. It is possible. That is possible.
It's possible that somebody who has never walked in a gym is going to go win Mr. Olympia next year, but I wouldn't bet on it. The fact that you're putting so much effort, much
your belief
faith
in numbers, your belief in
nonsense.
numbers.
First of all, Ray,
you believe
it's
I'm
not even going to talk about MLM for a second. Let's just talk about the common sense of what you're saying.
I mean, that has nothing to do with the Amway business. That doesn't make Amway a bad opportunity at all.
Ray, shush, please. You don't even let me talk. You started this whole thing being like, yeah, when I'm with my wife, I need to let her know we need to have an honest communication. And you don't shut the fuck up when I'm trying to talk.
That's my wife. You're in Asia. I'd love to see you do that in person.
I'd love to see you do it in person. You're the same guy. You're the same guy talking this shit when you challenged me to come on my channel, demanded that I bring you on the channel.
I didn't challenge you.
And then when I called you out on it, hold on, I'm muting you. Then when I called you out on it, you threatened to sue me like a bitch, and you're telling me I would love to see you do that in person? Get the fuck out of here. So let me explain why what you're saying about selling the energy drinks is complete nonsense. Am I still muted? Let me explain why the energy drink thing is complete nonsense. Okay, so you think that people are going to buy a monthly case of Amway XS energy drink by signing up to the website or to the Ditto or whatever so that they can get it every single month. One, it's going to be more expensive than if they buy Monster or Red Bull regularly at the grocery store, as you mentioned. Number two, why on earth would somebody take the effort? It's more work for them to now set up a Ditto account and set up a subscription, yet another subscription, as though people don't already have to set that up. As though people don't already have enough. Okay, so you set it up. As if people don't already have enough monthly subscriptions. Okay.
Oh, so now you're tracking everybody's subscriptions now?
I'm just talking about market demand. Do you think people are going to sign up with all the subscriptions people have out there? Apple, Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever. You think people are going to sign up for an energy drink that's more expensive, and also it requires that they have another point of commerce to purchase from than just buying something from the store, which they're already going to go there anyways. For example, Ray.
People subscribe to other people on TikTok that do stupid things.
You're not even listening. You're not even listening.
I am listening.
You're not even listening. So stop talking. How can you be listening if you're talking?
Because you're saying nonsense. You're saying this is what you're doing, Marco.
I muted you. Nobody can even hear you. I'm not listening to you because you don't have no respect. You have no respect. You're in my comments demanding I bring you on the show. Then you try to pussy out. Then you threaten to sue me. Then you double back and come on the show. Then you say, oh, we should let each other speak. Then you don't let me speak. You do not stand by what you say at all. I can't even finish a simple point. I'm not going to be like you and ramble on for 12 minutes. I'm just going to try to make a simple point, and then you can respond. But either you don't let me finish, or you try to cut me off, or I finish and you don't even address what I said. You just go to something new. I'm glad this is on video. You can watch this back and see how it reflects. I watched a great video recently about how companies like HelloFresh and whatever the one is called, Blue Apron or whatever, these home order meal things, you can order it. It gives you the ingredients and the recipe, and you put it together at home yourself. One of the reasons that these companies struggle is because even though it seems like a logical proposition that you're going to save time by cooking, it still doesn't take away the fact that people have to go to the grocery store anyways, because The company is not sending you cutlery. They're not sending you a paper towel. You still have to go to the grocery store anyways for these other things, or at least most people do anyways. Still, I'm sure you, of course, you could get these things on Amazon and whatever. The more sophisticated people probably have shopping lists automated through Alexa every month where they say, hey, order paper towel on the first of the month or whatever. But you get my point. These companies that claim to be solving a problem, which was saving time going to the grocery store and preparing meals, weren't really saving that much time because people had to go to the grocery store anyways. This exact same problem applies to what your proposition about selling the energy drinks is. I'm trying to help you here and the reason I said that you're never going to do that is because for the reasons I'm explaining, it's not going to work because it's nonsense. And I'm trying to help you so that you don't waste time on this for the benefit of yourself and for your family. Okay. The idea that somebody is going to sign up to order a monthly subscription of energy drinks when, as you said, they were already faithfully buying a competing brand, which was a cheaper price, which they could conveniently pick up while they were already at the grocery store, is complete nonsense. There's multiple hurdles to get over. It's more expensive. They have to set up a whole new thing to get it. They're getting it separately from the rest of their groceries. They might not know about multi-level marketing, but if they do, maybe they don't want to support Amway. There's also, I doubt it tastes as good as Red Bull. That's another factor. I mean, that's subjective, of course, so I'm not gonna. That's not one of my strongest points, but there's not the same brand recognition and trust in the product as somebody who's been drinking Red Bull or Monster for years. So forget what I said about MLM. This is not about Amway for a second. I'm just trying to explain to you. It could be any brand. It could be John's Energy. It doesn't have to be XS. I'm just pointing out to you on economic principles, your plan is complete nonsense. Go ahead.
Okay. I could put it this way, Marco. I really do recognize all of the points that you're making, and it is coming from someone that is unproven. You can sit here and say, oh, I've done the research, and this is not, you're telling me everything that's not possible, every single thing that's not possible. And you know nothing that's possible because you don't do it. And when I tell you I know about these things and I have examples of these things, I see it. It doesn't count because it doesn't match up to what you believe. So because, I'm the one being disrespectful, but, I mean, you've chosen certain words. It's okay. I'm not trying to paint myself to be a certain type of way. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to agree to disagree. And I'm going to say that you have what you have, and you have all of these people in your chat that have been saved and that understand the truth, and it is going to be great for them. And I'm going to continue to operate in this system that I believe is well for my family. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to continue to move on the character that I have. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. And I guess we are just going to see. I guess time will tell. Maybe you will get through to the FTC and you will shut this company down, and I'll be the first one back on your channel saying, you know what? I wasted a lot of time and you were right and I didn't know. I'll be the first person. But this is something else. Because if I build a successful Amway business or not, I'm still going to be impacting people. I'm still going to be helping people. And that's just the end of the discussion for me. I don't, to me, Marco, when somebody is focused on all of the negative stats, like I mean, like everything, even when I try to say, hey, but that's not what I saw, that's not what I see, and then you say, hey, I'm trying to help you, you don't know. You're telling me that I don't have discernment. That's what you're telling me. I don't have discernment, and I've been brainwashed, and I can't think for myself. And that's some of the same arguments that everybody else who's failed, everybody else who has found some reason against whatever has used, the same way you feel like I'm using things. So it's just an agree to disagree. Ray, my community thinks that you're an idiot, and I think that you're an idiot. And Marco, I don't think that you're an idiot, actually. I just think that you haven't done it, and it is what it is. But I'm going to stand on what I do. I'm going to stand on the people that I help. I do appreciate you for letting me come on this channel. I do kind of feel like Like, like it was kind of misconstrued as far as like me challenging you. That wasn't intended to be a challenge. It was actually me being flabbergasted. But it is what it is, and I'm just gonna let you run your play, and we'll just see. This is a game of chess. We'll see what really stands out. But the one thing you can't do is tell me what I won't do, and I appreciate the energy. I'm gonna build this Amway business so fast and so strong because of you. And I appreciate that energy. I love when somebody tell me that I can't do something, because I can do anything I put my mind to. I've already proved it to myself. I'm the highest income earner in my house. I probably make more than everybody in this chat. Guaranteed. I am a great, great, great leader. Great leader. And I know for a fact that I can do anything I put my mind to. I might not be as smart as you. I might not know all the court cases. I might not have all these things put together, and I might not even be able to articulate myself well. But you know what I can do? I can follow leadership, and I can discern myself through situations, because I think I have something over you that you don't have. And that's street knowledge. That's where I come from. I've been to college. I've seen both sides, man.
I think you'd be
And I'm
surprised.
just gonna have. You know what? Yeah, and that's probably true. I don't even want to sit up here because it's putting me in a place, Marco. It's putting me in a place where it's like I'm not trying to tell you what you know, but you're trying to tell me what I know. And if that's the case, that means I don't know anything. This wasn't even a debate. This was an intervention for me to say, hey man, wake up. What are you doing? And your efforts, I want to put that on the statistics. Didn't work. I'm still going to do the Amway business, and y'all can call me what you want to call me. Hey, look, by the way, you already have subscribers that are going over to my channel and making fun of me in the comments. I don't want anybody that's my subscriber that's
That's
watching
bad.
this, don't do that,
Don't do
because
that.
I'm not that. Yeah, I'm not that type of person, but I'm just going to agree to disagree. I'm all and I'm going to leave on a positive note, because it's so many people that try to think like we're not human and stuff, and because you're involved in certain companies or you're scum or whatever they want to think, and you have your right to your own opinion. You already know how that saying goes. Everybody has. You
Yep.
got it. You know how it goes. So I'm
Yep.
gonna let it go. I appreciate your time. The only thing I ask is you keep this video whole and don't try to chop it up to make a point. That's the only thing I ask. All right, man.
And
I
I respect
appreciate your
I
time.
respect I respect you for chatting with me as well. I appreciate it. And I mean, well, I'll be here. I'll be here if you decide to get out of Amway. As I said, I'm trying to help people so that they can. Um, Kevin, what's his name? Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank often says, "I want you to take this idea out behind the barn and shoot it, so that you can move on with your life and actually do something that's going to make you money." I hope the
I'm
same.
familiar.
Yeah, I hope the same with this. I hope you fail upwards into another thing. And I appreciate you being here. I just want to ask one final question, if it's okay. Is why
Sure.
right now you said you're a couple months into this newest venture with Amway. Can I ask, why was it that it didn't work out the first time, and then after you joined it the first time and left, you were in IM Academy? Why wasn't that the thing that worked out, and now you're back in Amway again? Something that I need
I'll
your
tell
help
you.
to
No,
understand
no,
is,
no, no.
like, if it
Yeah. I'll
worked,
tell you.
surely it would have worked the
Yeah.
first time, right?
So my Amway, it's pretty cool for me, because when I've come back into the Amway business in the sales and marketing plan, and that entire business that I have is so beautiful. I can see, like, wow, I left and that business still grew. And those distributors that I put all that time into, that I was helping, are successful still, and to me, it's almost like, a man, I left them, but it was personal reasons. It was very personal. My priorities had changed, and I left. And you might think, well, if it was working, why do you leave? Well, people leave things for various reasons. I don't want to disclose that because it is personal to me. And then I go off and I find success in my own businesses. And the reason why I got in IML was simply for information. I had the discernment of network marketing. I understood that I don't have an interest in building this, but over getting the success that I got with trading in that company, I said, you know what, the products are great. What if I just kind of have my own little leadership? And that's what made me start building that. And then the company kind of duped on me, like, hey, you can't do the YouTube thing. So I go years and years, just kind of doing my own thing, stacking my bread, making great money. And I suffer this loss, and this loss didn't take me out. It was just like, a damn, bro, like, that's a lot of money to lose. But I'm glad I had a chance to lose it. Like, who lose $250,000, Hey, it is what it is, man. You learn that this, and that is a grimy world. That lounge business, people would do things to you, man. It was people that saw us being a competitor, and saw our concept and how beautiful it was. and just started plotting and scheming because it's like they trying to get those dollars to their club, man. It's very interesting how that goes. So after that loss and you being in a place where it's just like, man, I'm so down. Like what was it? And then I had the thought, wait a minute, Ray. Like just go back to what you know. Like you had success here, you left for the wrong reasons, the wrong perspective. You talked to nobody about it. Just go back here and see, you know what? Build it, stick with it because if you did, you already see the result of what it would be. And these people have great businesses. They have great mindsets. They have great lives. And I'm not just talking about income. I'm talking about impact and influence. And I'm not talking about on a big scale for random people. I'm talking about within their families' lives. I'm talking about within, like their network, their stand-up people that people can look at and say, wow, that person is living at a higher sense of excellence. Like they're every day just trying to be 1% better. And yes, you can do that outside of Amway. But if we really talk about some of the problems that's going on where people are addicted to these sites, right? And people are running around and just infidelity, this and that and stuff those are things that I don't want to deal with. Those are things that I want people to overcome. And I just believe that if I am willing to help them figure that out, like, hey, you can't own any business if you have these things. Like, you can't control your eyes, bro. Why are you gawking at the women? There's plenty of women everywhere, bro. Chill out. Like, you can't own a business if every time you're talking to a female they're undressed. You can't own a business if you can't hold a conversation and make eye contact. So if I can help people do these things, Marco, I think that is great for me, man. So that's why I did it. That's why I came back to the company. I know the numbers are worse. You telling me everything about it. Sure, I'm glad that you warned me about all of those landmines. I still believe with the leadership that I have, which is very important with Amway. I still believe that I can do it. And you want to know something? Last thing, I promise, and I have to go. And you probably, bro, this dude could talk. Sure. Watch this. If I built this business successfully and I'm able to show you the distributors that have the success and I'm able to do that, I would never do that. But just know I'm going to be thinking about you. I'm going to be thinking about you. I promise you I am. Because it's like, hey, man, I got this one guy and he's just so passionate and it ain't going to be nothing disrespectful. And it's just going to be my fuel, But if I can do that, it wouldn't even be a comeback on the show. It's just going to be a nice little email like, hey, man, those numbers don't count. And if I fail, then I quit. I'll tell you that too. Hey,
Right.
it didn't work out for me.
Sure.
I was going to one of these conferences and got hit by a Bugatti. That there's somebody that was doing a real business. I tell you that, man. I'm not one of these people to try to play around. I have a great life. I'm a great person. I think I'm a great contact to know. I'm a free thinker. I can think for myself. And opinions don't bother me at all. So, like I said, I do
Appreciate that.
appreciate
Yep.
the
Well,
opportunity.
I do
Yeah.
appreciate that, and I hope you make a lot of money, not with Amway, but I actually want you to make money. Contrary to what you might believe, I'm not here to simply tear people down. I'm here to tear down a system that tricks people into indentured servitude under the guise of entrepreneurship and the language of business. And that's what I'm
Mhm.
trying to help. If we're going to talk about anecdotal evidence of like success stories, I've had literally thousands of people throughout my comments and DMs over and emails over the last 6 years thank me for saving their life and tell me I'm doing God's work. So if we're going to give uh, equal merit to people's own testimony, then we have to give equal merit to the success stories you've seen and to the people that I have that claim that I've helped them. So that's why I don't rely on opinion or anecdote. I just simply like to stick with the facts and with simple logic. Um, I will say also I don't condone people going over to Ray's channel or social media and talking bad to him. I think it's unfortunate if that is happening. I will say though, I do think it's a little bit ironic that you mentioned that because prior to this, you insisted that the chat was on public and not subscribers only mode. I usually have it on subscribers only mode so that I don't get
Well,
a
I'm
bunch of
looking at it.
spam or
Maybe it's just
trolls.
something on
But
my end.
I
I,
put
I
it
can
on
see.
I put it on public mode at your request, and as soon as we went live, I had people from your community who I didn't recognize talking bad about me. So I think it's a bit of a false flag that you are pointing out my supposedly toxic fans going over to your channel when
I
it
mean,
seems
I
that
mean,
that was part
somebody
of your
told me,
strategy from the beginning.
Marco. Sure, I'm not trying to point that out, man. You do a really good job at covering yourself, but I'm not trying to point out like, hey, like it's a bad thing. I'm reading the comments. I see people talk about loss. I learned a long time ago, conversations are not about winning or losing. It's about understanding. And you have presented some facts here that you feel like are valid. And most of them I knew, but it's like, hey, you just brought a different perspective to me for my business. You did that for me, and I congratulate you on that. But you know,
Appreciate
people,
that.
I mean, people are really, I mean, they talking about my 144 cans. They telling me I can't think. It's like, sure, man, sure.
Don't listen to
Somebody
the
said
haters,
great people
bro.
don't say
Prove
that
them
they're great.
wrong. Prove them wrong. You got
Yeah,
it. You
exactly.
got it.
And it's gonna be every dollar is gonna be from Amway. I
Yes,
can't say that
sir.
because I'm a
Hey,
trader. I'm a trader, but you know I'm gonna make a good amount of money from Amway. The people that I help are gonna make good amount of money from Amway, and everything that you said, I'm gonna work towards debunking. And I want this video to be here because if people see me and they be like, you know what, I want to go see what he's doing, they're gonna watch and they're gonna be following because some of these people that really hate Amway quit, and they know why they quit. They know that they didn't
they
do
were
anything and
quitters.
they
They
want to
gave
be in
up.
here. Yeah. Nah. It ain't even me trying to use the jargon of what you normally hear people say. What I'm saying is they know that they didn't put a full effort into what they were doing, and they found some in themselves and they found a place where they can feel justified. That's
Right.
what I see when I read this chat, you know? And it's like, it is what it is. Scammer scam. That's what you think it is, man. Hey,
Hey,
cool, man. Somebody said I need God. All right, I'm gonna go pray right now. Pray for me too, since you're so holy. Thank you so much. Save my soul. I'm about to get busy. Thank you,
hey,
Marco. I
it is
appreciate your
what it
time,
is.
man.
Appreciate you, Ray.
It is what it
Appreciate you,
is.
man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Yeah, damn. Let's go through these emails. Let's go through these. I definitely, yeah, we definitely need to clip. If somebody didn't clip it, we definitely need to clip the imagine it's a pool. That's a perfect clip. It's a perfect clip. Uh, let me pull up these emails right quick so we can see what led up to this, because I promised we're gonna go through the emails, and so we are. Um, let me bring this up. Imagine it's a pool. So insane. Okay, let me make sure I'm not doxing my email or showing anything to. Okay, here we go. What a life. What a life. There we go. What a life. Let me bring back the dono goal and dono alert. Of course, we know I'm just doing this as a. Of course, we know I'm just doing this YouTube channel to scam people and to grift and to make myself rich. So, it's true, of course. Actually, last night my lawyer emailed me and I had to pay an invoice for $600, and I believe I have another one coming today for over $1,000. So yeah, all good. I saw there was some people that dropped super chats. I really appreciate it. I saw Julie Anderson gifted 10 memberships. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna watch this later and read all these comments over because I was genuinely trying to give Ray my full attention, so I wasn't super watching the comments, but I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Pee pee time. Dominic Izzo wouldn't let me go to the bathroom, so I held it this time. But okay, give me 1 sec. I'll be back. We'll look at these emails. Imagine there's a pool. What up, y'all in the chat? Let me say wagwan to the chat. I saw one of the funny comments I saw was somebody commented Ray Finn voice, like from Star Wars, like from the sequel trilogy. I thought that was funny. Okay, screen capture. Let's go here. Here we go. This is my email exchange conversation with Ray. So this follows his YouTube comment where he said, "Bring me on this show. I don't think Amway is a scam, whatever. So I replied to his comment on YouTube, and I said, sure, send me an email. So he says in his email, hey, Marco, you sent me your email via the comment section of your video. Would like to set up a live interview with you. What's the process? So this was completely consensual. Just you know, in the debate, he said he felt like he was forced into it. Let's go into this. Hey, man, thanks for emailing. I just need to know what time zone you are in and if you have any evening availability so we can talk for 1 to 2 hours. Central time zone, and yes, I do. What's best for you? I said, okay, great. Could you do 9 p.m.? Also, are you also okay with sending me a photo of yourself I can use for a thumbnail? And lastly, are you currently in an MLM asking for the purpose of titling the stream? Thanks. Everything has been very respectful so far. He said, I've studied the network marketing business and have participated in a few MLM systems. I just recently started up my Amway business. I have a few other successful businesses as well. And then he sends me some very nice photos. I say, okay, sounds good. I appreciate you sending me the photos, man. Those look clean. Do you have availability tomorrow evening at 9 p.m.? Because he didn't answer that. He said, I do, and no problem. I said, sounds good, bro. Do you have Discord? Ideally, we will do the call there. If so, add me at alwaysmarco. I have also attached the thumbnail. Let me know if you are cool with using it. So I sent him the first draft of the thumbnail, which looked like this. He said, I do have Discord. The thumbnail is a bit misleading, but I don't really mind. But I really don't mind. I'm here to bring perspective to your entire channel. I'll add you. He then adds me on Discord. Then I said, tell me what you'd like to change about the thumbnail and I will make the change. I made the thumbnail to appear as an installment in my live debate series, but I'm happy to change it to something that you feel represents you better. I added you back on Discord. Just make sure you have decent audio and lighting. I assume you are cool to be on camera for this, Marco. So respectful, so considerate. He says, well, Amway being across my chest, I don't like. I'm coming on your show to have a convo with you about my experience with network marketing and what I've learned from doing it. I'm not here to defend Amway. I'm here to explain a different perspective that none of your videos cover. I'm not a bad guy. This thumbnail makes me look like one in my opinion, and I'm fine with being on camera. I said, got it. I will remove the Amway logo and send you an alternate version with the other pic you sent me as well for your consideration. He says, okay, cool. I say, here's the updated thumbnail and the alternative. I personally prefer the one with the red background. I think that will draw more people. Also, for the title, I was thinking debating an Amway distributor. I know you said in your previous email that you're not here to defend Amway. However, your initial YouTube comment definitely was from the POV of defending Amway. You said, and then I quote, bring me on this show. I don't think Amway is a scheme. Great people and opportunities with the Amway Corporation. And also that comment was left on a video about Amway. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. And you mentioned that you have just started with Amway recently. If you don't like the title, I am happy to put something like debating MLM distributor RayyBannzz or something like that. Let me know what you think. I want to have a good conversation and don't intend to play any gotcha games. I sent him 2 new thumbnails, one without the Amway logo on his chest and this blue variant with another picture. He says, debate thumbnail is cool. You'll see what I mean when we talk tonight. I clarify. Sounds good. Are you cool with me using the thumbnail with the flex pose? This one. I like this one better. He said, I really respect how you ask. I prefer the blue debate thumbnail. If you'd like to switch the picture and change the color of the background, we could both get what we want that way. Totally reasonable. I said, okay, how about this new one? It's sort of a mix of the two. And are you cool with the title, Debating an Amway Distributor? This is the new one, and this is the one that I ended up using. That was May 13th, 10:46 p.m. And 2 hours later, almost exactly 2 hours later, he says, after all of this back and forth, hey, Marco, after giving it some thought, I've decided to withdraw my commitment for tonight. I want to take a moment to explain why. I find it interesting and a bit concerning how you're using Amway as a clickbait topic, especially considering the value it provides when done correctly. Now, you might be scratching your head here, dear viewer, at what the fuck could he be talking about? Because his initial comment on my video was on an Amway video saying that he doesn't think Amway is a scheme and demanding that I bring him on the show. I've obliged every request so far. I even said I won't put the word Amway in the title, and I will also change the thumbnail so that the word Amway does not appear. Now, all of a sudden, after this very respectful back and forth where he even says, I really respect how you ask, to my consideration of his opinion for things like the title and thumbnail, which I don't have to do, now he says, I find it a bit concerning how you're using Amway as clickbait, especially considering the value it provides when done correctly. It's important to recognize that Amway, as a supplier, offers a legitimate sales and marketing structure that has helped millions of people across the world not just sell products, but build communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, and other essential skills. Sounds like ChatGPT. Um, to be clear, I'm not speaking as a fanboy. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I've used the principles and training from Amway's system to not only grow in that business, but also find success in other entrepreneurial ventures. There's a reason Robert Kiyosaki obviously hasn't seen my video about Robert Kiyosaki and how Amway was instrumental to his success as an author. Author of Rich Dad Poor Dad wrote a book about it called The Business of the 21st Century. I also talk about that in my video about Robert Kiyosaki, and Robert Kiyosaki is unfortunately an Amway shill. Yes, network marketing has its share of people with the wrong motives, bad apples argument, just like any industry, false equivalence. But dismissing the entire model, especially one like Amway that has stood the test of time for over 60 years, appeal to history, appeal to age fallacy, in 100 plus countries is misleading. I don't know, appeal to number of countries. It's a registered member of the Direct Selling Association, appeal to authority fallacy, adheres to strict business practices, lie, and has paid out billions in bonuses and incentives to independent business owners over the years. Yes, it has paid out that much, but those people have lost way more than Amway has paid out. And independent business owner, the term is also euphemistic doublespeak, and nobody's actually independent. It's not a business, and they don't own it. What I find ironic is that your content frequently criticizes the network marketing industry. Another euphemism, pyramid schemes are not an industry. Network marketing is a euphemism for pyramid scheme. Yet your channel, here we go. I find it ironic that your content frequently criticizes network marketing industry, yet your channel monetizes this same industry, gaining views, engagement, and likely ad revenue from those curious about it. That's the very definition of benefiting from the same system you're calling a scam. What most people miss is that this business doesn't promise quick money. It demands growth. It demands that you learn the products, understand yourself, whatever that means, and develop the ability to serve others, whatever that means. That's the part many people don't want to hear, so they blame the model instead of looking in the mirror. Victim blaming. I hope this gives you a different perspective. If your goal is to inform, I encourage you to do it with balanced integrity, not just trending negativity. Wishing you well, Ray. Now, you might be confused. How is Marco not using balanced integrity when a complete stranger comments on his video demanding to be on the channel? Marco immediately obliges his request and also grants every other request and change and alteration that Ray makes, and then says that I need to have balanced integrity and not just trending negativity. Okay. I say, hey Rayvon, I want to take 1 second to ask you to reconsider. First, I already told you I was happy to make the title anything you were comfortable with, so the Amway clickbait accusation is simply false and you know it. Your response sounds like it was written by ChatGPT with a bunch of blanket statements about Amway's official history, which I am happy to discuss. I'm a bit annoyed at this point. I had just woken up. Respectfully, you confidently demanded I bring you on this show. I have obliged you and spent cumulatively several hours exchanging emails with you and making thumbnails. At minimum, flopping is a highly inconsiderate thing to do and a flat-out wasting of my time. If you were really confident in your views, you would use the platform I've kindly offered to share with you and simply have a discussion. As I said before, I'm not trying to humiliate anyone or play gotcha games, and I think I've been respectful during our correspondence. Lastly, generating ad revenue from YouTube is not at all the same thing as MLM. We could also discuss this if you are under that impression. Shouldn't I have the opportunity to share my perspective with you too? After all, it is you who insisted I invite you on my channel, and now after adhering to every request of yours, you're flopping. You mentioned balanced integrity in your last paragraph. You can't say I'm only interested in trending negativity and not balanced integrity when I'm literally inviting you on to share your perspective. Next, he says, I appreciate the compliment of ChatGPT. Even in the land of the blind, a one-eyed man can be king, okay? Everything you've spoken about in your videos reflects a perspective you'll never fully understand because you weren't there. We saw him use this endless times during our conversation just now. Many of the guests you bring on your show share half-truths. How would he know? Using his own logic of me not being able to understand because I wasn't there. He also wasn't there when these people tell their stories. So how would he know? They tell half-truths that justify their own reasons for quitting. They come off more like minions than credible sources. Ironic. You take that support, skew the narrative. I don't actually skew anything, and create content that attracts more like minded viewers, tells the truth, ultimately profiting from the controversy. If I came on your show and presented full facts and real experience, it wouldn't be about discovering truth. It would become another opportunity for you to profit. That's not a debate I'm interested in because it's not an honest one. Now he has all these quarrels and disagreements. And mind you, when he did come on the show, he didn't present one fact. Some of your community members have even messaged me on Instagram. This is because I made an Instagram story. If you don't follow me on Instagram, always Marco, I made some Instagram stories going over some of these emails up into a certain point. He says, I'm sure you didn't ask them to do that, but it reflects the type of culture that surrounds your platform. Another weak excuse. We both know what we know. The difference is I speak from lived experience and you reference court cases and elevate voices you believe have cracked the code on Amway. I'll admit, I probably shouldn't have asked to come on your show in the comments, backpedaling. I only did so because I was genuinely shocked by how heavily the information was skewed and how it was used to promote other products. Literally, what are you talking about? Don't take this the wrong way, but me not coming on your show is actually a good thing for you. For every court case or anti-MLM video you present, I can show you a real-life success story. The problem is, none of it would count in your eyes or your communities because you're against network marketing no matter the proof, the source, or the experience. And that's fine. Time will tell. Outside of the network marketing debate, I respect your dedication to standing by what you believe. P.S. If Amway is just a pyramid scheme where only the top wins, how do you explain people with no network, no business background, and no upline support who still build profitable and varied customer bases? And how do you justify calling it a scam while you profit from criticizing it using a model where your followers fund your platform but get no financial return themselves? So he backs out of the debate, but it's clear that he still wants to have the debate just over email and not actually in the forum that we initially agreed to do it, which I think is shameful and cowardly. I responded and I said, this all would have been great to address on camera. If you were so confident in your views, you wouldn't need to be still asking me in this email to explain how Amway was a pyramid scheme. You're a coward like all the rest who talk shit in my comments, then pussy out when it's time to show up. I thought this was going to be the end of it. Just like Pedro, after I called him out for not showing up, after exchanging countless messages about scheduling a time and him telling me that I'm scared to talk to him and I'm a coward and blah, 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 and making thumbnails and this and that, he stopped responding. So I assumed this would be the end of it as well. Ray says, lol, okay, I didn't talk shit in your comments ever. You literally did, demanding to come on the show. That's talking shit. Look at your response. Triggered maybe? Keep up the great work, Marco. This is the last email I'll be sending, and I see you didn't answer the question. Guess we're both cowards. So now he's using my not answering of his questions as justification to vindicate himself and make himself feel like, yeah, I did the right thing by telling Marco I'm not going to show up. Yeah. See, he's scared to talk to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give him any excuse. This actually could be a good learning moment for my audience if I send him a thorough, detailed response, depending on what his answer is. I responded, look at this email. Look at how thorough I am in this email. I spent time on this. I quote paragraph by paragraph all of his questions or conjectures. The first, where he says everything you've spoken about in your videos reflects a perspective you'll never understand because you weren't there. I say, this is called the appeal to authority fallacy. I don't need to be a doctor to know smoking is bad for you. Next. He says, I skew the narrative and profit from the support, and I'm not interested in an honest, discovering the truth. I said, if you've seen any of my debates, you'd know that I do them in good faith and have unedited conversations. I would even be willing to demonetize the stream, but you'd find a new excuse. Saying I profit from my content that helps people and using that as an attempt to discredit me or paint me as a bad faith actor is like demonizing a doctor for profiting off people's sickness. Technically, it's true, but I think we would both agree someone who profits from healing people is not to be judged the same as someone who profits off making people sick. Next, he says my community members messaged him on Instagram. I said, the irony here is that you don't like strangers coming at you online, but that's exactly what you did to me. You were a random nobody challenging me in my comments and demanding I give you a platform. Now here we are. Then he says, We both know what we know. The information on my channel is skewed, and I'm just getting people, I'm elevating voices who think they've cracked the code, and that I use my channel to promote other products. I said, again, appeal to authority fallacy. You assert my opinion is invalid because I was never in MLM. This is logically flawed. What product did I promote? My videos are free to watch. Then he says, me not coming on your show is a good thing for you. For every court case or anti-MLM video you present, I can show you a real-life success story. I said, deflection, cope, and cowardice. A good thing for me. I didn't ask you to be on the channel. You demanded it. These success stories you could show me are people who are successful at scamming. That's like saying, for every drug addict, I can show you a successful dealer. Again, a nonsense argument. He says, outside of the network marketing debate, I respect your dedication to standing by what you believe. I said, the same way you respect me for standing by what I believe, I disrespect you for not backing up what you claim to believe and flopping on our conversation. Lastly, if Amway is a pyramid scheme where only the top wins, how do you explain how people with no network, no business background, and no upline support still build profitable and varied customer bases? I say, the fact that you're even asking me this shows that you have internal conflict about Amway and can't admit it. If you knew the answer to this question, you would be telling me instead of asking me. The people who became profitable did so because they were willing to lie and deceive enough recruits into joining so they earned money. Having no upline support is irrelevant. Having a downline is what matters, and I think you know that. Once again, he says, how do you justify calling it a scam when you profit from it and your followers get no financial return? I said, again, is a doctor scamming because they profit off people's sickness? Are police scamming because they profit off of crime? And to the point about my followers getting no financial return, this is true. My followers get zero financial return from supporting me. They do it willingly because they support what I do. I don't promise my followers anything if they support me. I put out free content. If someone wants to buy a shirt, they will get a shirt. It's a consented choice. I'm not promising that people who follow me are going to achieve all their dreams and be millionaires. Then I say, unlike MLM, where victims are promised wealth and freedom in exchange for their money, which is a lie. This is the basis of a scam, in my opinion. Promising/advertising something, receiving money for it, then not delivering. One party held up their end of the bargain and the other did not. You cannot point to one behavior or action of mine where this is the case. No one is deceived, no one is promised anything, and anything people pay for, like merch, they receive. I have now answered all of your points thoroughly. This email exchange has been a really great example of brainwashed MLM behavior and cognitive dissonance. So instead of you joining me on a live stream to speak in your own words like I generously offered to you and went to great lengths to accommodate, I will be doing a stream dedicated to you and going through each of our emails one by one for my viewers to learn from. If you change your mind and would like to have the opportunity to be a part of this stream, then I once again welcome you to share your perspective. And once again, if anyone thinks that this is me being ruthless in any way, remember, I did not even know who this guy was until he commented publicly on my video demanding I bring him on my channel. You don't get to now say, bro, I do whatever I want with my email. How about that? After I've spent all this time going back and forth with you and giving you this detailed response that I never even had to respond to this guy. Then I said, going live tomorrow for you and using the thumbnail I want. Even still, I still used the thumbnail that he was agreeable to. He responded and said, well, Amway doesn't promise anything, lie. And as an IBO, we are even limited to what we can say due to quality assurance. This is the same compliance excuse used by Pedro, just with a different name. He says, that's why you don't see more positive videos of IBOs that have successfully built a profitable business. You can force your narrative all you want, but I have given my reason for not coming on your show. Now you're trying to gaslight me into doing so. Doesn't understand what gaslighting means. Another reason why I've declined. If you decide to use the email threads between us, then I will pursue every angle and avenue I have legally for defamation, slander, and harassment. Says the guy, publicly commenting on my YouTube video, demanding that I share my platform with him, sending me photos of himself, setting up a time with me, sending me photos to use, adding me on Discord, setting up the time. I mean, come on, bro. This email thread was supposed to be an opportunity to book an interview, and throughout the process, I found good reason to not move forward. There was not one reason that he brought up during our correspondence for why he didn't want to do it. We had set everything up. Now, when it was a few hours before we're supposed to do it, it was the night before we were supposed to do it, He sends me an email all of a sudden out of nowhere deciding that I'm a bad faith actor and that I'm not interested in an open conversation and that I skew the narrative and I'm doing this for profit. Never mind the fact that I said I would demonetize it. Never mind the fact that he says I've been really respectful so far and on and on. He says, I continue to speak with you about the matter, and you decide to call me out my name and speak out of pocket. I state a few more facts about our conversation, and now you're trying to blackmail me into coming onto your show. I have absolutely nothing to hide. If it was advantageous for me to come on your show, I would. Your desire to be right has hindered your ability to understand why I lost interest in the opportunity to share my perspective. Please respect my boundaries and take no for an answer. If I see or hear anything about me, my business with Amway, or any of my other businesses, I will sue you. Our entire conversation will be sent to my lawyers as well. Again, you do not have consent to use my name, pictures, or private email conversation as content for your channel. I said, ha ha ha, the last line of defense for a scammer, threatening lawsuits. I've seen it countless times before, Ray. I have been sued by MLM companies worth billions of dollars and never lost a lawsuit. That's true. The fact that you're in Amway and trying to trade options on his YouTube channel, he trades Forex, tells me you don't have the money to sue me even if you wanted to. Talking about quality assurance, this is just the compliance excuse with a different name, more BS excuses to cover your cowardice. If you had nothing to hide, then why did you hide? Can't make this up. It's not advantageous for you to come on the show, but it was advantageous for you to watch my videos, comment, email me, send me photos, schedule a time, add me on Discord, go back and forth, and then flop? Right. No blackmail ever happened. I am simply offering you the opportunity to join me in conversation like you demanded of me. I don't need your consent to share my own email exchange with a public figure online. You have a public YouTube channel, which has 22,000 subscribers, by the way, with your name and face on it. I am breaking no laws by expressing my freedom of speech and giving my take on our conversation or your content. I'm eager to hear from your lawyers. Calling the bluff. Then he says, actually, I have plenty of money, and I'll be on your stream. You have no idea. So now he flip-flops again. He wants to be on. He doesn't want to be on. He wants to be on. I said, oh, so you're going to do the stream now? Amazing, LOL. I only had to pull teeth for a grown-ass man to back up his own demand to be on my show. Embarrassing for real. Glad you quickly realized that your lawsuit threat was bullshit and you have no leg to stand on. This should be interesting. See you tonight. He says, not the case at all. The disrespect has given me a new goal. See you tonight. I said, nice. I'll call you on Discord once I'm live. Again, please have audio and video set up beforehand. Talk soon. He says, thumbs up. And now, here we are today. This is why there was something of a rough start at first that seemed perhaps more confrontational than was expected, because there was this prelude to the discussion. Yeah, it's truly remarkable, the nonsense. I mean, the conversation speaks for itself. The rambling about nothing, the storytelling, the false comparisons, the deflections, the changing the topic. It's just endless. It's just fucking endless. You know. That pool comment was diabolical. Yeah, I'm glad some of you guys caught when he said the pool comment, you said ice cream melts. It's just so amazing. I try to bring up a simple analogy, like with Feby Francois from WFG. I said, I was trying to make the point about market saturation, and I said, do you understand that if there's 10 ice cream trucks or 5 ice cream trucks driving around the same neighborhood, that's bad for each one of them individually, because there's so much more competition now that the number of people that they could sell ice cream to is diminished. And his response was, it's ice cream, it will melt. You can't make this shit up. And with Ray, I said, Ray, this is, we were talking about the failure rates in MLM. I said, if I watch 99 people jump to their death, I already know what's going to happen with the last one. I don't need to go and do it myself, because he was trying to say that my opinion is invalid because I don't have the experience. So I said, I don't need to watch 99 people jump off a cliff to their death to know what's going to happen to the 100th, and I don't need to be the 100th. And he says, yeah, but imagine there's a pool. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's never going to be a facts versus facts debate. And perhaps I should have a moderator one time, but you know what? You see how wishy-washy these people already are when it comes to even showing up in the first place. So far be it from me to think that I would be able to get a moderator to show up. You know, we're on a three-way Discord call, and the moderator is there, I'm there, and the person actually shows up. You know, it's just like it's crazy. People when my channel was smaller, people were more eager to do these debates. Now, I don't know. I guess there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. If my channel grows, they'll say, "Oh, his channel growing, that just means there's so many haters and there's so many misinformed people and negativity sells." If I had no subscribers and my channel didn't grow, they'd say nobody's even listening to you anyways cuz all your information is false. That's why no one subscribes to you. If I make money, they say I'm just doing it to make money. If I make no money, they say this is a waste of your time. You should go get some money. If I get views, they say I'm doing it for views and clout and to be famous. If I don't get views, they'll say it's a waste of my time. You can't win. But by letting these people just talk, they expose themselves. So, yeah, imagine if I said when he said imagine there's a pool, imagine if I said, yeah, now imagine that the pool is filled with acid, and then he's like, yeah, but now imagine you lathered your body up with an acid proof like gel, and then I say, yeah, but I was like, what? It's like kids, you know, it's like talking with kids. Marco versus Alex Morton, I would love that. um yeah, I'm honestly this has been a while since we've done one of these debates. I don't know how long it's been, but bro, I think my friend yesterday, shout out Specs. It was actually Specs in the chat that I was talking to last night on Discord, and he said something. His exact words were, what was the word you used? I think it was polished. I think you said I think you said you're so polished now that I don't even think these people want to do it. If you watch even one debate, especially go watch even the debate I did with Dominic Izzo 2 years ago in 2023, even to now I've gotten so much better. Even now I know so much more about like the language tactics they used, what they're called. I can pull from off the top of my head from memory different lawsuits, different cases, different data and statistics, who found it, where you can find it, etc. um yeah, I don't know. I'm in a real flow state with this content, especially with the new video. The new I'm also glad we did this because I hope you guys will forgive me for the lack of uploads recently and coming up, because the next video that I want to drop is the next infiltrating a pyramid scheme. I've been working on this for 2.5 years. It's a fucking wow. It's like every time I do one of these videos, I worry like, oh, is it going to be too long? People aren't going to watch this. Maybe the approach is different. Like when it first started with WFG, it was just me with my camera in person. Then it evolved, and with like I Am Academy, it was during COVID, so there was no hidden camera footage. It was all just like clips that I had pulled and Zoom calls, which still ended up going great. Then with a company who I probably shouldn't say the name of, my next infiltrating a pyramid scheme, that company was a hybrid where it was like in person and clips. And then this new one is also a hybrid, but bro, this new infiltrating a pyramid scheme takes place in another part of the world, and I didn't just go to like a company headquarters or a meeting. I went to their global conference with like their exclusive black tie event with like their top people from all over the world, their diamonds, you know. I went there and fuck, I kind of want it to be a surprise for most people to watch, but I'll tell you guys, stream exclusive right here. It's not just me doing the infiltration this time. It's also me and Fidel from my series on I Am Academy. I thought it was just the perfect like full circle hero redemption arc story if Fidel himself was with me in person to infiltrate this company. So we filmed this probably like 6 months ago. This happened. This is, I know it was a long time ago, and we still haven't even I still haven't released it, but I'm so excited to release it because it's like you see Fidel going from 2021 being the one who's on the Zoom call trying to pitch the MLM to me and recruit me to it, to 2024. It's coming out in 2025, but we filmed in 2024, where he's like the one asking the questions, to the scammer. It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool and amazing. So, yeah, Batman and Robin type shit. It's really, yeah, I'm really, really excited. And it's just, oh my God, you've never seen, and I can say this with confidence, not just because I'm trying to hype up my new video. You have never seen more egregious claims about the lifestyle, about the product, about how, people are being cured of cancer from the product of this company. I haven't said the company because I've learned, and my tactics have evolved. In the past, I've said, okay, my next infiltration is about this company, and that company was sending me cease and desist letters before the video even came out and suing me and this and that. So this time I'm being much more calculated. You're not going to know the name of the company until it's actually out. It's going to be a surprise drop, more or less. I might say, hey guys, tomorrow, but no, I mean, this is going to be my next video. So if you see me going quiet, aside from like live streams, I'm still going to keep up the live streams. But if you see me not uploading like videos for the next couple of weeks, that's why. And of course, if you're on my Patreon or a member on YouTube, I'm going to do an event, like a live sneak preview of this somewhere, somehow, for the people in Patreon, whether it's like a viewing of the whole video or like even just some clips. I don't know. I'm not making any promises yet, but yeah. I'm really, really excited. Trey Tino says, "Wait, I remember seeing stuff." Yeah. So I'm very excited. It's a team effort this time. I feel like this new video is really the culmination of all of my work over the last 6 years. It's me at my sharpest, at my most knowledgeable, pulling data from multiple different sources to create just like the word I use to describe this is surgical. It's all facts. It's a hybrid of all the favorite stuff for my viewers, like the in-person hidden camera infiltration, the high stakes. Are we gonna get kicked out? Are we gonna get arrested? Is there gonna be a fight? The egregious clips, the talking head of me talking to the camera, explaining like, okay, here's why what he's saying is a complete lie. Here's the logical fallacy he's using, etc., etc. I'm just so excited for it. And yeah, I was working on it all day yesterday. I'm going to be working on it again all day today after we're done this. So I just can't wait. So yeah. And as I said, it's also it's like in a foreign location. It's not just like, in my last infiltration video 2 years ago, I just went down to like the local office of this MLM company with my hidden pen and talked to one lady there. This is a whole nother beast. This is like I'm amidst the swarm at their most prestigious event of the year. Like, yeah, it's gonna be something. You've never seen anything like it. I'll tell you that much. You've never seen anything like it when it comes to MLM videos. This is not a commentary video. This is not a reaction video. This is really me, boots on the ground, face to face, like you haven't seen since I went into that office, that World Financial Group office in 2019, and the police pulled up. Yeah, so I don't want to gas it too much because under promise, over deliver, they say. But I'm just excited, and yeah, if you're supporting me, bro, as I said earlier, my lawyer sent me a bill for $600 last night, $590.99 to be honest, $590.99, and I have another one that I have to pay today, which I think is over $1,000. So if you want to support me, bro, you can support me $1 a month on Patreon. Actually, if you sign up for the full year up front, you get 10% off. So it's actually less than $1 a month. If you sign up for the whole year up front, you pay $10 for the year. So yeah, I post all the new content there first, exclusive content sometimes as well. How many energy drinks is that? Yeah, you'd have to sell one you'd have to sell 10 energy drinks to make enough profit to join my Patreon for a year. I think it's a pretty good deal. So yeah, thank you guys, and thank you to everybody who dropped super chats. Let me just shout out those people because it doesn't feel right if I don't. Let me pull it up here. It's already gone through the chat, but I'm gonna look here in my Amway back office and find out. And to all the new people that might have been watching, I saw a couple people say like it's their first stream. Welcome, appreciate you. Anna says I could get you into an Amway conference in Australia. The real challenge is I got to get to Australia. The Amway conference isn't the problem. Is I got to get to Australia. So, fly me out to Australia, Anna Neumann. Let's see. I want to thank Andrea for the $5 Streamlabs donation. Thank you so much, Andrea. You're the GOAT. And let's see, on YouTube we have super chats. Where is it? Here we go. Banji Baby, thank you for the super chat. Kendrick, twice. Yub G, thank you. Why do I need $30 Amway shampoo, bro? I'd rather work a regular job. Thank you. Kevin Lindsay, 1, 2, 3, 4 donations on super chat. Thank you, bro. Really appreciate you. Mark Moyer, thank you for the super chat, super sticker actually. And memberships. I saw Julie Anderson give memberships. You're the GOAT, Julie. 10 memberships supporting the strength of the cult. We love it. How can I see this? Memberships. See your members. Okay, yes. Joined. Here we go. Shout out Brandon C., Brian, Lisa, I Am Unique, Andrea, Solomon, Sean, and Odds, and Leave My Name Out, and Julie Anderson all got memberships, so thank you. That's it. That's all I got. Appreciate you guys. Welcome to the cult. We got to become goons, man. The goons. So appreciate you, and see you next time on Saturday. It's Thursday night for y'all right now, right? So Saturday night, I'll see you. Peace.